3 fairy tales.
3 fairy tales, no, man. I'm weaving a story. Yeah,
Solar Recharge discards Lila. Draw
Lila is-
2, hits Dark Hole.
Why would you discard Lila instead of Wolf?
Probably because you want to revive it. That would be the only reason.
67, 7,000.
Could be.
6,077. 6,077.
Sends Trick Clown to the graveyard.
So I took a dozen right now. So
So you're
67.
at 67?
Yeah.
To hit 6,000.
6,000.
Okay, fine. It's 6,000. Yes. One, you paid 1,000 for Mike.
Temporarily banishes Shiranui Solitaire.
1,000 Mike. Her. I cannot rain today. I have the number.
Doesn't have any other banished Shiranui monsters, can't do anything with it.
6,000.
Normal summons Raiden. That'll draw out a Snow. Banishing Spirit Master. And 6 other cards.
Wow, including Solitaire, which will bring back the Spirit Master.
Activate effects. I'm gonna hook that, pop that, and then activate effect of.
7 years. Spirit Master. Okay. Pop this.
Oh no.
Look this.
Pop it. Hook this. Pop that.
He destroys Trick Clown, which can't revive again, and flips Raiden face down, so it can't use its ability.
Alright, Trick Clown's only once per turn.
Dark Hole takes everything out.
Well, that was a pretty good draw off that Solar Recharge.
Deception does not use Michael's effect to shuffle anything back. And Salgado puts a card face down.
Alright, but now Omega's back. Salgado gets Solitaire back, and play passes to Deception.
67.
Deception's got Lumina. But the main thing she's good for right now is 1,000 damage and then another card to banish for Snow.
Yep. So
Can I see it?
I assume Omega attacked.
Hasn't yet. Looks like he's using Mizuki.
Ah, he has not yet entered his battle phase. Brings back Unizombie.
Battle phase?
Goes to battle phase.
Lost Wind on Omega, so that's really good. Halves it down to 1,400 attack, plus its effect is permanently negated.
So 27 altogether. That puts you at 4,000.
Hits it for 27.
6,000 to your 4,000. Activate effect.
Main phase 2, Unizombie's effect activates. This is the send to the graveyard from the deck one. Send another Mizuki.
Oh.
I'm still thinking if this is what I want to do.
Well, he'll probably make another Omega this turn. Unizombie gains a level, right?
Unizombie does gain a level, and they're
So-
checking to see when Lost Wind comes back. And it's when you summon from the extra deck.
Right. And that includes the turn it's sent to the graveyard?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just you can't activate it that turn because it was just set.
Right. So, very likely, Deception will summon. Well, I don't know. Actually, now with Lost Wind in the graveyard and he knows it's there, he might change things up a bit and not summon Omega. I mean, he could banish Mizuki, summon Spirit Master, and Tune.
Normal summon Lumina. And Synchro summons. For Stardust Charge War is the... He already used the effect of Unizombie, though.
That's what I thought.
And he's saying now that he used it on Omega, not on Unizombie.
Ah, I see.
Which was... I mean...
All right, one face a monster on the field.
Yeah, nobody could actually tell that that's what happened.
Okay.
Because it was part of the big glorious stuff.
So that would allow him to draw a Charge Warrior, since Unizombie is still at level 3, and then Lumina's at level 3.
Yes.
So that's how it is. He gets to draw a card. Picks up Gem Knight Garnet. Very effective.
And it looks like he didn't bring Lost Wind back from the graveyard.
That's odd.
Maybe it is, except the turn this card sent to the graveyard. I didn't think it was, though.
Let's see. No, you can bring it back.
Yeah, it's except during the damage step. Not during the graveyard.
Maybe it was just the Unizombie confusion.
That could do it.
Got him a little lost.
Since I haven't drawn anything.
His chances of winning,
It's in my hand.
like a candle in the wind.
This is what happens when you play 60 card decks.
Exactly.
He's still got cards, though, and he has searched out a Kaiju. All the cards are monsters, though.
Oh, Whiptail. That's actually perfect. Ah, but Exception still has Snow. I always forget about Snow. And it's always there.
It really is.
It's always the most relevant card, but it's just never on top. It's never on the field, so it's easy to miss. But yes, that is... Sagara's hand would be good if not for Snow. But I think Snow is going to really stifle his plays. Actually, he can use Snow to put his own Omega down, right? To reset it?
He could.
And then he could have also banished Solitaire to destroy the... not Solitaire, Spirit Master to destroy the Whiptail.
Looks like he's going to do that now.
He could have saved his Charge Warrior if he had done it a little earlier, right?
I don't know that he really needs to save the Charge Warrior, though.
You'd rather get your opponent to use his Trident for the turn?
Activate effects.
Go ahead. Yep.
It is a little interesting that he's not resetting his Omega.
You're at how much?
Am I missing something?
Is it targeted card your opponent controls? That could be it.
Well, let's check. Yeah,
What
it's only a
monster-
face-up monster your
it's a
opponent
monster your
controls.
opponent
Yeah.
controls.
So, never mind. So that explains that.
I mean, given how much Snow can do already,
Yeah, it's already incredible. Although he still could have used it on the Whiptail to save his Charge Warrior. He could have used the Spirit Master. But
in the end, it doesn't matter, though, as they are more than enough monsters available to take out those last 4,000 life points.
yeah, so Salgado drew a lot of cards that duel with Maxi, Solar Recharge, and otherwise, but Pot of Desires, but it just didn't matter because he got so many monsters he couldn't do anything
Nearly
with.
all of them are monsters, and it's not even like he's playing a huge amount of monsters for this deck. He's only got 28.
Yeah,
A lot of these decks are going to use, 35,
right.
around that number.
Yeah, so
But Deception, true to his word, has not lost 3 features in a row.
he did say he would not.
He said he wouldn't do it.
He was not punished for his hubris.
It was looking a little dicey there when the Maxi came out.
It really was, but some good fortune for Reception made it so that Salgado drew way too many monsters.
Really, the key was the Wolf. The fact that he got Wolf off of being destroyed
Off the Minerva. That was incredible.
by Minerva.
Sends 2 more Snows to the graveyard,
So
and then
I would ask him about that.
special summons the Wolf.
Ask him how thrilled he was with that. So
Absolutely.
we're going to have a brief playback for you, and then Michael will be with you with an interview with Deception.
Stay tuned.
This January, monsters will rise. As good and evil collide. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions. In theaters January 27th. Rated PG. Free exclusive Yu-Gi-Oh! Card with ticket purchase. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions Movie Pack Gold Edition. On sale January 13th. It's time to duel!
Ed, things didn't always look good for you in that round,
No.
right? What do you think the turning point was in that final duel?
When I drew bad and he drew bad, but because I had the bigger monster, he couldn't attack over me, which let me make a Minerva, which let me unbrick because I milled the wolf and I drew a card.
Now, how did you feel when he destroyed your Minerva and you sent 2 copies of Snow and a wolf to the field after he resolved his interrupted Kaiju slumber?
Sometimes it's your day and you just get really, really lucky. And I literally said the only way I win is if I mill Snow Wolf, and I milled Snow Wolf, so it's pretty good.
All right. Congratulations on winning your feature match. Congratulations on going 4-0, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pendulum Domination with crushing DD monsters. And take full command of Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters. Pendulum Domination. 43 cards per box, each box sold separately.
QQ stands for quick questions. Zodiac cards have been giving a lot of duelists a lot of trouble this weekend, so I figured I'd survey the duelists in a competition this weekend to see if they were a Zookeeper, which Zodiac monster do they think would give them the most trouble? What do you think?
Typically, Dryden gives people the most trouble because he puts the most pressure on board.
And if you were a Zookeeper and Dryden were in a zoo, how would that put pressure on you?
Because I don't know if the Dryden was ever going to kill me or not.
Dryden might be the most aggressive zoo animal?
Definitely, especially when he has Whiptail equipped to him.
All right.
I think Barbo would put most pressure on me as a Zookeeper because it doesn't look really clean and it would always throw around bananas and stuff.
Okay, the answer is definitely Momorat because I am afraid of rats.
Rat Pier?
Rat Pier, yes, definitely.
Probably Zodiac Trident because she's based off a dragon, and dragons aren't always fun to play with. So, and yeah.
Might come after you.
Yeah, you know, spit some fire at me because I didn't feed her once or twice, you know.
What do you think a Trident eats?
I mean, she's a dragon, so probably a person.
I guess the hardest to deal with would probably be Tiger Mortar, because although I do have 3 cats, Tiger would be kind of out of hand for me, considering I'm a timing person. So I try my best, but there's only so much I can do.
Would you feed your Tiger Mortar cat food?
Yeah, maybe it'd make it weaker since it's not eating raw meat. That's the best I could do.
Might be a little different.
All right, so the Zodiac that will give me the biggest problem would probably be Whiptail. The reason why is because if you look at the card, it looks like a scientist. So that's already, I got an associate, so I'm already pretty sure if you're in a lab coat, you're gonna be a little bit smarter than me, but can't do much when it banishes everything on the field.
It's tough when the animals outsmart the Zookeeper.
I know, and it's gonna be a full takeover. If you look at Barrage, they're like destroying everything. I'm not down for that.
Bun because nobody ever uses it.
How would that affect you as a Zookeeper?
I don't know. I feel like just having a rabbit like that would be annoying. That's my reason.
All right.
Zodiac Ram by far looks like the most trouble out of all of them.
Why's that?
Man, it's always the innocent ones that are the most terrible, horrifying creatures. The Paleozoic monsters never expected it.
Definitely Tiger Mortar because the dude who jumped into the cage got mauled by it, so probably the same thing would happen.
Scary.
Yep.
Trident.
Why?
It just destroys stuff, so it would tear everything up.
As an animal in the zoo, it would do the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
Trident.
Why?
Because monster disposal or backfield disposal is one of the most important factors of this game, and I believe he suits both categories, so I give it to Trident.
How would that affect you as a Zookeeper?
The potential of getting eradicated by a creature, yes. very.
Fair point. So the Zodiac monsters have been disrupting everyone this weekend, and as a Zookeeper, I would imagine it would be no different. Several duelists this weekend seem to agree.
Hello and welcome to the last round of Swiss at YCS Atlanta. This is round 9. We have been here for what seems like an eternity, but we are finally here. Table 1, undefeated. This is going to be a good round. I'm excited to see 2 expert duelists battle it out. We have Michael looks like Zamidi Jr. against Michael Campos. Pretty interesting strategies. We have Wind Witch Artifact Invoked, undefeated. We saw that, was it round 1 or round 2?
I believe
round
it was
2, I think. I think round 1 we did Fluffle, right?
You're right. Yes.
Either round 1 or
yes.
round 2, we saw it. It's still a popular
Right.
strategy. Probably the best way to be playing the Invoke cards along with Wind Witches, so that's pretty cool. And then also we have a 60-card Paleozoic deck with a bunch of sweet tech. Absolute King Backjack, Fairy Tale Snow. We don't normally see that in the Paleozoic variant. Card of Demise. Just a bunch of cool stuff. I'm pretty excited.
So if I told you in round 1 that table 1 in the final round of Swiss on day 1 would have 2 decks that don't use any Zodiac cards, what would you tell me?
I would think that the odds are low, but I could see it with stuff like this. You know what I mean? Like, if you tell me it's a 60-card Paleozoic deck, then I'm like, okay, well, he's drawing that Grasslook screener a lot. He has Fairy Tale Snow. You know, he's using broken cards. And then, same thing, if someone had shown me what all the Wind Witch cards could do, and, you know, the fact that they abuse the Raijin a lot, and it's just probably the best, like, controlling variant of the Artifact Invoke engine, then I could see the argument. But you're right, I would have been in disbelief.
Yes, so table 1 this round has 2 decks, neither of which use any Zodiac cards, remarkably. We have Alistair, the Invoker, in the Wind Witch deck, so it's capable of massive plays. And then in Campos's deck, it's using some totally awesome rank 2 monsters, but no Zodiacs. So this is going to be an interesting match, and it might actually be the first match we've done that does not involve any Zodiac cards.
Yep.
So.
It looks like our duels are just about ready on the table, so let's get to it. It is time to duel.
Okay, the duelists are shuffling up. They've drawn their hands now, and they are about to begin.
Yeah, looking at opening hands, did you see who won the die roll by chance?
I did not.
No.
And I don't see their hands. Zamidi's hand is good,
Well,
but
that grass
he's
looks
not
greener.
first.
Best
Yeah.
card, so
All
that's
right,
fine.
Campos opens up with that grass looks greener, Lost Wind, Paleozoic, Morella, Psalmstrike, and Wabaku, and uses that grass looks greener right off the bat to send 20 cards from the top of his deck to his graveyard.
Yep. That's 4 Neilbug's Nest if you're counting at home.
Yeah. At spell speed.
1. Crazy. Mills triple Card of Demise.
That's
how many
4
Paleozoics does he hit?
Looks like 4
3 or 4.
Paleozoics, but 3 frogs,
And
I
a Ronin
believe,
Toaded.
including a Ronin Toaded.
So not the worst mill. He definitely like gassed up enough, I think, because you know if you count every Ronin Toad activation as sort of like a card, right, and then you count every Paleozoic as a card,
Looks
you
good.
effectively drew like 7 cards.
Looks good to me.
Yeah.
Zamidi's hand is very strong, though. Magical Meltdown, Wonder Wand, Wind Witch, Ice Bell, which is the one you want to start with. Artifact Sanctum, Call of the Haunted, and he draws another Ice Bell for turn.
Yep.
So
So let's see if he can break through 5 back row, because that is quite a bit. We were talking about the disadvantage of the Wind Witches versus Zodiacs when including the Invoked and Artifact cards, was that Wind Witches are a little bit better going first, but probably substantially worse going second.
Right.
So we might see that come into play here.
Yep, so he summons Ice Bell, but can he summon it through everything? Interesting. Lost Wind will negate Ice Bell.
You control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can special summon. So, okay, so we're okay.
Okay. What's that gonna do?
It negates the monster's effect and has its attack.
Negates the monster effect and attack. And that's for how long? Forever?
Permanently. And while it's in the graveyard, if you special summon a monster from the extra deck, I can set it face down. But it gets banished when it leaves the field.
Okay. So you're doing that when I special summon it?
When you activate it.
Okay, so I'm sure.
Is there any response to this card?
None.
Effect of Paleozoic Picky in my graveyard? Special summon.
Okay.
So Lost Wind negates Ice Bell's effect, and Pikea is special summoned from the graveyard. But Wonder Wand is fantastic here. You can use it to send Ice Bell to the graveyard, which means that he can special summon. Oh no, you can only use each effect of Ice Bell once per turn, so he still can't special
Which
summon
is why
the
he
other
clarified
one.
when his opponent was activating Lost.
That's right.
It's like
but-
Magical Meltdown next up.
Yeah, but it's good because it still turns his failed Ice Bell play.
Yeah,
into
yeah.
draw
Wonder
two.
Wand. It's cool that even if you get stopped, Wonder Wand is great. It's also really cool that that works so well against Dimensional Barrier, because usually the Dimensional Barrier, you're just stuck with monsters that aren't that great, and just trade them away with Wonder Wand, find some more cards, hopefully some defense, and boom.
Smitty uses Magical Meltdown to search for Alistair, add it to his hand, and then normal summons it, and adds Invocation to his hand.
Are there any additional conditions along with the win?
He's using 3 Alistair in his main deck, along with 3 Magical Meltdown and 2 Invocation.
Yeah.
So he's very committed to the Invoked
In the heavy
strategy.
Invoked engines, I think this might be the better way to use it, along with Terraforming, obviously.
He's also using 2 copies of Terraform.
Yeah.
Monsters from the extra deck unless they're wind level 5 or higher for the rest of the turn after I activated her effect. So does that negate the effect of this?
It negates the effect of the monster, but I believe that's a condition.
They're discussing whether Ice Bell's effect that prevents him from negating, from special summoning level 5 or higher wind monsters.
Well, I mean, I don't really think that...
monsters other than level 5
yeah,
or
but
higher.
that shouldn't even really matter, right? Because if
negated.
he activates the Invoked Fusion, then he's probably just summoning Raijin anyway.
Maybe, or maybe he wants to fuse with Ronin Toad in his opponent's
makes
graveyard,
sense.
right? Does
Yeah.
he have the water invoked? Yes, he does.
That makes sense. So he's using it as a disruption. That was a key way that the Invoked spell is just so powerful, disrupting cards.
Yeah. He can summon Kaiju if he wants to, if he can summon a wind monster, which it seems they ruled he could. Is that right? Or they ruled he can't?
I was not able to hear, but it looks like, regardless, he's choosing Raijin.
Right.
That's a level 5 or higher wind.
Yep. And it looks like it was, that it has to be a level 5 or higher wind.
Okay, so I guess it's a condition rather than part of a negated effect.
An effective invocation.
I guess.
Back to the deck. Add this to my hand.
Not 100% sure on this, but I'm certain we can check with one of our judges the close of the round to confirm and let you know.
Enter battle phase.
Raijin's a pretty sweet-looking monster.
Yeah,
I've
Raijin's
never really looked at
amazing.
him, but he's got this lightning sword thing going on. Looks like he's had another one in the back.
Incredible effect, too.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, yeah, one of the best effects just ever.
It's a lot like Trident. It's like monsters that are like Trident are just overtaking the game.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that a long time ago. Like, you go further back, like Alcahest, and then
That's true.
Like Kieran. Trying to think of which one was probably... Which one was like the first one? That's a really good question, which I don't know. Like, I'm thinking back to like Dragon Ruler cards. There definitely wasn't anything like that then.
No.
Same thing, even Necros. Like, that's not how they disrupted you.
Kieran's the oldest I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can talk about like Gungnir maybe, like Necros of Gungnir, as a way that like you can disrupt stuff during both players' turn.
That's true.
Yeah.
That wasn't the most
But I
played
feel like that's
card,
not
though,
what-
in that format.
Yeah, which I
It was used to destroy your
Yeah.
own cards to
Yeah.
stop Valkyris from...
I still think it's wrong that if that wasn't the card was
Yeah.
not more played, but that's besides the point. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. I don't know what the first monster we saw like that just had such a powerful disruptive effect that you can use during either player's turn without a cost.
Yeah.
Or like without a heavy cost. Like I don't really count Kieran's cost as being very substantial. Just need to bounce back monster.
So Campos used Wabaku to protect his monsters, special summon a Paleozoic, and then on Campos's own turn, Zamidi used Artifact Sanctum.
As long as it's off the mat and you keep it consistent.
Looks like he had Breakthrough Seal in his graveyard though, so he was able to negate the effect of Artifact Scythe.
Yeah. Like this is not a zone in the top right corner.
Okay.
That's really good since it's Campos's own turn.
Yeah, he might respond with Raijin. Yeah, that's definitely what's going to happen. But he can just get lost winded here.
Well, he doesn't know Campos has lost wind, right?
Oh no, he does because he reset it.
down. Oh, he did okay, so he does know. It's not a second copy. So that's probably what will happen. I guess there's no reason not to use...
But they can be
well,
targeted, so I can't activate it.
They're unaffected.
Oh.
Can be targeted.
Okay, okay.
Oh, it seems previously Zamidi tried to use Raijin's effect to put one of the Paleozoics face down, but they're unaffected by monster effects.
But that doesn't mean you can't target them.
So he's used its once per turn effect already. Instead, he'll Dimensional Barrier and shut down all Xyz summons.
Like, this might be a chance for Campos to activate another Paleozoic, but considering his options.
Certainly contemplating it.
Enter battle phase?
Sure.
Seems he declines to do so. Instead, he attacks.
Attack. He's probably just going to Lost Wind here.
No response.
Damage.
But he's
Cut it
going to
in
get
half.
got by the Invoked monster, right? The Alster.
He could, if he could discard it if he wants to. Yep. Plus
Yeah.
1,000 attack points to Raijin.
I feel like Campos actually just walked right into that one. Probably didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's a lesser used effect, I would imagine. I mean,
Unless Campos has something else. Oh, he just strikes it. Oh, so he didn't walk into it. He knew because he was ready with it set.
Yeah. All right.
Nice. Well, that's where you get the both duels are undefeated. I'm sure he's played against a lot of Artifact Wind, which I believe that Lost One should be banished, though. Yep.
It is.
Catches it pretty quickly.
Raijin's destroyed in battle.
Yeah, best thing about taking the table one, both duels are pretty heads up about everything. Draws a copy of Wonder Wand. Already has, is that Ice Spell still?
Yeah, I believe he still has that second ice spell.
Enter battle phase. Kill this.
Take 1,000.
Scythe attacks. Destroys one of the Paleozoics. Call of the Haunted.
They're probably going to bring back Raijin.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, but Olenoids could just take this off if he has it. Or maybe, he's going to Dimensional Barrier Fusions. That's cool, too.
You have how many cards in here?
He can Dimensional Barrier Fusions and get back his Paleozoic if he wants to.
Call fusion.
Sure.
That's the play for Campos. Brings back one of his Paleozoics. With fusions being unable to be special summoned, Call of the Haunted fails to special summon Raijin.
Yep. And this was what I was talking about when Winch is going second.
Yeah,
So
if he
it's
was
rough.
first, he would have Crystal Wing out.
Yeah.
Call of the Haunted could bring it back,
Make his
but for the Dimensional Barrier, at least. But now he's kind of stuck. He's normal summons Ice Spell. Looks like
I just, if you control no monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can special summon one Win Witch monster from your deck, but it cannot be attributed. You cannot special
That's
summon
the same one
monsters.
from earlier?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, okay. So it has no onboard effect, correct?
Nope, he's just going to trade away for Wonder Wand.
Yep. Not the best deal. Gives up a normal summon and 2 cards. You draw
Yeah,
2
but that's
more.
but he found Raigeki.
That's really good.
And he has Invocation. But even though he's deburied on Fusions right now, next turn that Invocation's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
that was
Alistair's
the
already
best
in the
thing. He drew
graveyard.
Tom taking Raigeki.
That was incredible.
Yep.
We might see Zamidi win this through That Grass Looks Greener.
Which is crazy. I mean, it was just all about drawing that Raigeki. That was just the best thing
Yeah.
he could have found.
Cleared off 3 monsters.
If he has a way to maybe get back another level 2, he can get back in this game, though. So we'll
Maybe.
see.
Set one, go ahead.
Nope, doesn't have it. Invocation. We'll see how good it is here.
Summer phase, main phase.
He can also just make a level 8 Synchro with Scythe plus Ghost Ogre, right?
Does he have any level 8 Synchro monsters to summon that way? Yeah, he has plenty.
Yeah.
He's got Stardust Dragon. That's not really plenty.
Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, can you not?
He needs a Synchro monster to make that, right?
That's the turn it sends, or
It has no downside to it.
what's that?
So for the
You know, in my head, I was just like, level 8 monster, but
Yeah.
definitely need a Synchro.
It is a level 8 Synchro, but it
Yeah.
needs a non-tuner Synchro.
Yeah.
So he can make Stardust, but
Yeah, I mean, it's something. It's probably better than his artifact. And how good is Ghost Ogre against Paleozoic?
Did you banish the
I don't think it's that great. You're just going to
Yeah.
force out a totally awesome every time. Let's see.
I have water monsters.
Yep.
Now
None of those water monsters really matter too much because they're not Ronin Totem. So I might just get a win and put that Raijin back down.
Yep. He plays 3 copies of the Wind Invoked monster.
Yeah.
Raijin. So here comes the second one.
Campos Morello down the Lost Wind, just so he has a way to disrupt the Raijin the following turn.
Uses the effect of the invocation in his graveyard, returns it to his deck to return Alistair from his bounty zone to his hand, and then normal summons it to get invocation back.
Yep.
Invocation's incredible.
Yeah, I'm really liking the Invocation Zodiac decks.
Yeah.
They're pretty strong, and this one is also very impressive without Zodiacs, obviously. Like that,
Yeah.
It's just another 1-card engine. All these 1-card engines are just where you want to be.
Enter battle phase. Tech.
Scythe attacks and destroys Ronin Totem.
Likely.
Or tries to destroy Ronin Totem.
Campos.
How many cards do you have?
3.
I know one of them.
You know invocation, yes. Attack 4,000.
Scythe succeeds, and then Alistair attacks directly.
32. You're at 23 to my 79. Main phase 2.
Is Alistair only when it's normal summoned?
Pass my turn.
The search effect?
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
Yes. Or flip face up.
Oh, that means he can combo with Raijin.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I was going to see, that was why I was asking, like, is there any way you can just get extra value out of your Raijin? That's huge.
Yeah.
It's free. Reminds me a lot of the whole Book of Eclipse, Senju Manju thing.
Yeah.
All this additional value in your, without even trying to do that sort of thing. Lost Wind.
So
you think he would respond? If he's Lost Winding that, I would definitely respond and just...
Absolutely. You might as well
hook
put
on
Alistair
He
face
also
down.
has 1,800 defense, not 1,000 attack, so...
I think he'll probably be doing that right now.
Sure. Chain effect, target Alistair.
Yes.
Yep.
So, as you predicted.
He also just chained the effect on itself, right?
Could, but what would that really...
Well,
I
Lost Wind
guess
negates
you-
it permanently, so
yeah.
then you can reflip summon it later,
Yeah.
and then still have it online.
And you don't lose half your attack points, too.
Yeah.
But
It looks like a
he's
second
changed
Lost
the
Wind will
second
actually
Lost
just-
Wind.
Those stack, I assume?
No, it's just half of the original attack.
Half the original time. Okay. So still 11. Yes, that's fine.
So, Morella's summoned from the graveyard as a Paleozoic monster.
Rodent Totem effect?
Sure.
Oh.
That's not the right card for him.
Right here, Dimensional Baryonic Seas is definitely going to...
That's probably
put a
going to
bit of a
end it,
damper.
right?
Yeah, I mean, yep.
That
Campos sees the right on the
ends
wall.
it immediately as Campos concedes.
Yeah, I mean, he manages to pull through going second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a good hand.
Yeah.
Not a great hand considering Campos's 4 first-turn back rows, but none of those were able to interfere as much as Campos needed them to. He stopped the Crystal Wing, so that was good. He stopped that from coming out. But in the end, Zamidid didn't need it. He just needed to draw some cards with Wonder Wand and lean on Invoked Raijin to win the first duel.
Then it summons, and then it activates, and that effect is also bringing out the thing. Then the burn effect is the second effect that happens at another chain link after it.
Having no monsters is an activation required. You activate the effects, and then it summons itself, and then another.
So, yeah, it wasn't clarified that he intended to special summon a monster, so I had to assume that that was not his intention.
That's fine. That is its effect to special summon.
It is a thing.
Right.
So the fact that you didn't
It's
do
okay.
it-
It's not a big deal. But I understand.
Yep, so let's take a look at these side decks. These 8-0 side decks, mind you. So on the Windwitch side, got a full Kaiju engine. Probably coming in, some amount of it. It's pretty good against Totally Awesome, Kaijuing it away.
Yes.
Also has copies of Artifact Lancia, not so good. Twin Twisters, definitely. Darkhold, probably not so much. Same thing with Quaking Bear Force. Now going to the Paleozoic 60-card Extravaganza side. 3 copies of DD Crow. Not the worst against the Invoked engine. Being able to DD Crow the fusion spell seems pretty strong.
Yeah, it's also good counter to Call of the Haunted and other revival cards that the Invoke decks tend to play.
Barrier Statue of the Torrent. Maybe not the worst if you can summon it and also have protection.
Well, It's 1,000 attack, right?
Yeah. So it crashes with Alistair. You can also just play around. If you go Alistair and search the Invoke spell, you can still just summon a water monster, right? Like as you use the Invoke spell and then just fuse away water monsters. Their water monsters from their grave.
Yeah,
So it's actually probably not that strong.
Yeah, you can invocation against barrier.
Twin
deck,
Twister,
yeah.
also probably not the strongest. Gamma Seal might actually come in. I think Gamma Seal, the more I'm watching this, the Wind Witch Artifact deck, it's just the Kaijus are great against it. It stops Crystal Wing, it stops the Raijin, your most important threats. Other than that, Artifact Lancia, how good is Lancia against the Invoked deck? They do a solid amount.
Welcome to round 5 of the Ultimate Duelist Series Invitational here in Las Vegas. For our round 5 feature match, we have 2 duelists who are currently 3-1. We have Fred Sutton, who is using a 60-card Infernoid Shadow deck, dueling against Fraser Smith with his 41-card Infernoid deck. Zodiac deck. The Infernoid deck in this match is using 3 copies of That Grass Looks Greener, and with 61 cards in the deck, dueling against a 41-card deck, if Sutton is able to draw it, he will likely have a decisive advantage.
Yep.
So the duelists are about to begin. They've been shuffling up, and this should be a good match.
Yep, let's head to the table. One interesting thing about Smith's list, we've been talking a lot about hand traps and how different players have been preferring different hand traps, and they're trying to gear their decks for the Zodiac Mirror. Fraser Smith happens to be playing 3 copies of DD Crow, which actually line up very well against Infernoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays only 1 copy of Flying Sea with 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Maxi, but 3 copies of DD Crow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he's probably pretty excited if he's playing against Infernoid because he has access to a full 3 copies. Other than that, his list looks fairly standard.
Sutton's list is fairly devoted to the Shadow Engine. He's using 2 Shadow Hedgehogs, 3 Squamatas, 2 Beasts, 2 Falcos, 1 Shadow Dragon, a full 3 copies of Shadow Fusion, and an L Shadow Fusion. So it is actually very heavy on Shadows.
Yeah, he's actually using 0 copies of Zodiac Rapier. So he's not doing any Zodiac things. Just straight powerful Infernoid stuff with That Grass Looks Greener, and then he also has the advantage of Shadal Fusion when going second, summoning El Shadal Grista most likely, if not El Shadal Winda. Yeah. He also plays 2 copies of Shadal Core, which is pretty cool.
Smith did get to open up. He did get to start, but his turn was stifled a bit by Sutton's Max C.
Yeah, and with a copy of Shadal Fusion and That Grass Looks Greener going second.
Wow.
It's going to be a rough one.
That's incredible for Sutton.
Yeah. Start with Decatron.
I guess he's afraid of sending everything to the graveyard.
He wants to just guarantee sending what he wants to with the Decatron. It's one less card off That Grass Looks Greener, but not the biggest deal.
All right, so he summons Decatron, uses its effect.
Looks like Harmadic.
Which one is that one?
Yep. He just wants to guarantee that he can clear out these threats.
Is that Harmony? Yeah.
Yep.
So if you target my backer, I can't activate it in response, basically? Okay.
Or is it?
What is it simply? Target on side card, shuffle and take it back.
Oh, no, it's Antra.
Oh, it's Antra. Ooh.
So he wants to get rid of the back row to make sure he can resolve with That Grass Looks Greener.
Yeah, Harmadic popped up on the screen. I was confused a little.
That would be my fault.
Yeah.
It doesn't just pop up automatically. I made that.
I assumed it was some mystical person listening to my voice.
I'll take the blame on that one. It's
No,
actually
it's
an
not.
Extra. They look very similar.
Yeah,
so,
all the Infernoids do, especially the little ones.
Yeah, the little machines with wings. So,
Yeah.
but Ankra comes down, gets rid of the set card to make sure that That Grass Looks Greener resolves, and already it's looking terrible for Smith.
Yeah.
monster, yeah, I have 32. So you know, you have how many?
Huh? I have 52.
Okay, so yeah.
19?
Oh, Fiendish Rhino Warrior? That's pretty cool. A lot of Shaddolls. A solid amount of Infernoids, not a ton though.
Wait, it couldn't have been Ankra. Ankra hits face up cards.
Skomata, Thaco.
Is it Patrulia?
It might be Patrulia. Target is, it must have been a Patrulia. They all look very similar.
No, I don't get it.
It must be Patrulia since that's the only way this makes sense.
There's actually one live stream.
Oh, it could have been.
No, it's.
No, I think it's actually.
Is it one that shuffles? Is there one that shuffles things back in the deck?
Yeah, it's Permis.
Yeah.
Permis. I'll bring that up.
Don't
on
see
the
that one
screen.
very often.
Now that we've determined what it actually is. That looks the most like the card in the graveyard.
Yeah, that is definitely it now for sure.
So, you know, while we were figuring out what Decatron copied,
looks like there was a huge Zach Gaslick screen there.
Yeah, Sutton sent a lot of cards from his deck to the graveyard.
Yeah, got a Shaddol Thaco effect, setting Shaddol Hedgehog, setting itself. He also got a Shaddol Core trigger, getting back El Shaddol Fusion.
Yeah. So when that grass looks greener sends Shadow to the graveyard, they're sent there by a card effect, so you get their secondary effects. So that's pretty incredible.
Yep, now he has 7 cards in his hand, 2 cards on the field.
Yeah, but most importantly, he's got over a dozen in the graveyard.
Yeah, he can Shaddol Fusion right now because Smith controls an extra deck monster. Get another Infernoid down along with a Shaddol, or he can just send 2 Shaddolls if he thinks that Winda is better suited for the situation.
He'll probably want to summon some Infernoids first, because once he has a certain number of levels on his field, he'll no longer be able to summon the Infernoids.
Yeah.
So,
is that one Sidesmoss?
I believe it is.
Let's hope so.
Well, he banished 2, so we know at least the level is right. Or the level range is right.
Yep. Activates its effect almost immediately, attributing the Decatron to banish Zodiac Rapier. And then it gets 3 down into the graveyard so he can summon Infernoid Onuku?
Yes, so that is definitely an Onku.
It's a dark hole, and I can negate special traps.
An Onku does certainly look different than most of them.
Yeah. Yep.
And Shadow Fusion and Smith has had enough.
Yep.
That was an incredible hand for Sutton. Smith really couldn't do anything to play around it. It was a fairly weak hand for Smith as well.
I mean, the only thing he could have done is pushed 1 card further and made a Trident. Because if he would have made a Trident, then the Shaddol Fusion wouldn't have been able to be at full power, right? Because he could just destroy the Trident in response.
That's true.
And he's not able to send the monsters from his deck.
That's true. He also could have, I didn't catch whether Smith chained hit the set card to the Decatron copying Ankra, but I assume he did not call Fusion.
Yeah, no, I don't think he did. He probably called Xyz. You're definitely supposed to call Xyz blind there.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
but
the only thing you get punished, or you play around Barrage like that.
Yeah. Do Infernoids really Xyz summon though?
No, but you assume that they're
You
also
just
playing the
assume
Zodiac
Zodiacs,
cards,
okay.
yeah, and that's why you have to. Because like you're gonna call Fusion. Not too much fusion summoning going on.
Yeah, but now we know, or now he probably knows.
Yes,
we
so
obviously
now
already knew.
Dimensional Barrier is going to do different things.
Sutton does not use Zodiacs at all, so calling Xyz is fairly useless.
Yeah.
But calling Fusions will prevent all of those Shadow Fusions from striking the field.
Yep. Taking a look at side decks, Sutton has a few interesting cards, so he can definitely bring in Raigeki going second. He has copies of Vanity's Fiend, which will probably only go in going first. He also has Jinzo in his deck. We've seen a lot of Jinzo and Danko Sekka. I feel like those 2 cards are the ways to be Paleozoic, and many duels are using
I've definitely seen a lot of Danko Sekkas. Not so many Jinzos, but that's exciting to see.
Yeah. He also has like Magical Springs, but the coolest card inside the deck is definitely Fiend Comedian for the probably Infernoid Mirror. Fiend Comedian has a super powerful effect. Flip a coin. You either get to banish their whole graveyard or send as many cards as they have in your graveyard from your deck to the graveyard, right?
I know one of the flips banishes their graveyard.
I'm pretty sure the other one lets you send cards to the graveyard.
How many does it send, though? Do you know?
It
does send. I don't remember how many or how.
I think it's how many they have in the graveyard.
So toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, all of your opponent's cards in the graveyard are removed from play immediately. If you call it wrong, send a number of cards equal to the number of cards in your opponent's graveyard from your deck to your graveyard.
Yeah, so if they resolve, well, they're not going to resolve it, that grass looks greener, but if they somehow get ahead in the graveyard, you can then feed Comedian, and both effects are upside.
Yeah, so that's incredible against Infernoids then.
Yeah.
You're right.
From Smith's side, he has copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, Starlight Road, Enemy Controller, Kaiju Slumber, Denko Sekka, a few Kaiju, the Stardust Dragon to go alongside Starlight Road, and Dark Hole. So you might want to bring in Anti-Spell Fragrance just because of how many high-impact spells Sutton has with cards like Shaddoll Fusion, that grass looks greener, because you figure that's beating like the strongest cards in his deck, other than maybe Void Feast.
Maybe, but only because he's going first, if he actually does bring it in.
Yes. It's also the fact that Decatron still just outs it, right? Because he's able to send, is it Patrulia, or the one we just saw, the Primace, to get rid of Spawn Traps?
Yes, one of them. Let's see. Well, yeah, Paramace hits the set cards. Once the Anti-Spell Fragrance
so that
is
doesn't
face
work.
up, though, you can use... Is it Peculia? Yeah, Peculia can destroy any spell or trap card on the field once per turn.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, Decatron can copy any of those effects. So it's...
So you have like inherent ways to beat Anti-Spell Fragrance.
So you have a lot of paths to get to that lone card that you need to beat it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're actually going to see that in, but...
No, we'll see. Let's see. It looks like Smith's hand is...
definitely better.
Yeah.
It's Thoroughblade, Whiptail, Darkhold, Zodiac Barrage, and Solemn Strike. He uses the Barrage to summon a Rat Pier.
Yep, he's going to be able to pull off the full Lunalight Fusion Substitute combo. Draw 3 cards in total, 2 off of 2 different Daigusto Emeralds, as well as the single draw from Fusion Substitute. Yep. Rapier turns into Borbo, Borbo turns into Broadbull.
Special summons Rat Pierre.
I don't... Is he doing something different? Oh, no, he's just going to Tiger Mortar. Okay. For a second, I thought he was somehow doing the combo differently, but he just changed the order, and right now he's going to Tiger Mortar and Tiger Mortar back the Rat Pierre so then he could use it.
Yeah. He got Lunalight Black Sheep with his Broadbull's effect and sent it to the graveyard to add Fusion Substitute to his hand. I think you're right. I think that's basically the new standard for this deck.
Yeah.
It seems everyone's doing it.
You just want to draw more cards?
I don't know what's up with the life points and why it says Frazier's at 8,500. But
maybe Fraser's especially good friends with our table judge. It's a little bit of a perk.
I'm quite certain he is at 8,000.
Yeah. See if we can get that fixed, but I'm sure as the duel progresses, it will solve itself.
Yes. They'll figure it out.
Yep.
Draws a card with Daigusto Emerald. Fire Formation Tenki.
Looks like he's considering, I don't know, using Tenki or Thoroughblade before activating Fusion Substitute.
Yes, and he does. Yeah, it's Whiptail to his hand. He only has Solemn Strike in terms of trap cards he can actually use to disrupt his opponent. So he's definitely looking to draw some more. Sutton's hand is quite good, especially since Smith keeps removing cards from his deck to make that grass look greener even stronger.
Yeah, with Left Arm Offering, he'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
You can also start off with Decatron too, so he doesn't lose too many cards.
Yeah. So Smith summons Thoroughblade and digs 1 card deeper into his deck. If you're Sutton here, you must be pretty excited. Every card he digs into is bringing your trump card, making your trump card even more powerful. And
Yeah,
bringing you a little
it's a
closer
little
to
hard to get
victory.
excited, right? Because he's going to Daigusto Emerald too, so there's going to be cards back in the deck.
Yeah, he already did. That's
But-
true.
Well, he's going to do it again too. Because
that's
the combo
true.
involves 2 Daigusto Emeralds.
He gonna do it no more.
He said he gonna do it anymore. That was the last time.
Yeah, that was it. It was just unfortunate that happened to you.
Yeah, I was like, all right, well.
Going to overlay those 2, most likely for Broadwool.
Well, Emerald, right?
No, Broadwool. He makes the Emerald off of the Rapier combo, the second set. Because he has to redo the Rapier combo.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because he already Emerald once.
I forgot where we are.
Yeah. It's a long combo.
This combo has gone on so long, I lost my place. Yeah. Summons Broadbill the hard way.
Yep. Gonna stack Dryden on top of that. Attach Rapier so he can special summon another from his deck.
All right, is it time for Emerald yet?
Now it is definitely. Well, he's going to Fusion Substitute first. So that he gets to draw the card before shuffling back the Rapiers and whatnot.
Yes, that makes sense.
Yep. Finds another copy of Tenki. At this point, I think you just slam down the Tenki. You just try to thin your deck as much as possible, draw more trap cards. You could also hold the Tenki, I guess, to try to find like a Rapier or something later, but I feel like you're not going to be wanting to search Rapier because you're going to end up having one in your graveyard anyway, so unless he's gone through all his Zodiacs, I think he should have Fire Formation Tenki Thrower Whiptail before activating the effect of Daigusto Emerald.
Is there anything he'd want to search for later?
I mean, the only difference is like Rapier, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Or throw, like, but he already has the Rapier in his graveyard, so like that's why you don't want it. And he only plays 1 copy of Thoroughblade.
Since he left Rapier in the grave, he's definitely not going to want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. He probably was better off using Tenki now.
I mean, he could be just wanting to set it as a bluff, and that's why he didn't use it.
Oh, that could
like
be.
That's the only other argument I can think of as to why you wouldn't want to activate it.
Solemn Strike and Dimensional Barrier in his hand, so he might set. No, he's not setting the Tenki, so he's just setting the Barrier and the Strike.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I would have either set 3 with the Tenki to play around Twin Twisters, or searched with the Tenki to try to thin my deck so I could draw, or have a higher likelihood of drawing a trap.
I agree.
Oh, Shadal Fusion. That is one of the only cards that could have made that hand better.
That was an incredible 6th card.
Yep, he gets to go Decatron, Shadal Fusion, left arm offering for that Grasslook screener. Oh. Seems pretty familiar, right?
This is really powerful.
Yep.
He can set Void Feast, too.
Did Smith draw Dimensional Barrier?
He does. He has Dimensional Barrier and Solemn Strike.
All right, so the Shadal Fusion is going to be answered by...
the Barrier?
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
Well, that's probably true, but what do you think he's going to do with Decatron? Or is he just going to lose it to Dryden?
I would assume he's going to lose it to Dryden, or the Strike is going to answer whatever the Decatron tries to do with the copied effect.
So that takes care of Strike, then Barrier takes care of Shadal Fusion.
And then you have
and then we're that
Grasslook screener.
Yeah, but that's still going to be... Well, you never know.
Stop Dryden.
Yeah, you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Coming off the top.
Yeah, especially if you have DD Crow in your deck, I feel like you should definitely be thinning to try to dig for it.
Okay, let's see. What is that? Is that Permace again?
Yes.
We'll bring up the right card this time. Here it is. Targets set cards and destroys them. Oh no, this is the one that
it shuffles them
targets
back.
a set card and shuffles it into the deck. Not target spelling trap cards.
It looks like this is just going to get answered by Dryden instead.
So he wants to keep his Strike.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have rolled the dice there and let him target a card. If it was a Dimensional Barrier, you could have chained it.
Could he have not just chained the effect of Permace to tribute itself to banish a card? Is that only during the opponent's turn?
I think he... Oh, no, it's the little guy, so it's only during your opponent's turn, right?
Okay. I know the little ones are either only during the opponent's or only during yours, but
no, once per turn during your opponent's turn.
All right. Yep. I assume next is either. Oh, he's considering special summoning an infernoid. Is that what he's doing? No, definitely just going to jam Shaddoll Fusion. Dimensional Barrier for fusions.
But
next up. Yep, he's going to special summon an infernoid next because he has the 2 materials in his grave. And then he's probably going to left arm offering for that grass looks green.
That's probably it.
Yep.
He is the one that attacks twice, right? Yes. I actually do know that one because I remember back in.
He might be considering Psalm striking it here.
He probably will because he's losing 2 monsters.
Yep.
So now now he's in big trouble.
Is where things get real fun.
All
I'm
right.
so excited.
So that grass looks greener will be, well, first of all, left arm offering will pull that grass looks greener from the deck. And then that grass looks greener will determine the outcome of this duel. If he sends all useless cards to the graveyard, then he can't make any use of them. He's basically already lost.
Yep.
Smith will just beat him on his next turn. If he gets some infernoids and is able to special summon a powerful one from the grave, perhaps an Unku, then it's over and he's won. Well, Smith does have a hand, so unless it's incredible, Smith is still in the duel. But 24 cards he's sending from the top of his deck to his graveyard.
Yep. 1 infernoid. 2 infernoids. A Shaddoll. 3 infernoids, 4 infernoids, 4 infernoids, 2 Shaddolls, 6 infernoids, 7,
8,
9.
9, including a Void Seer, plus a Void Seer. Shadow Falco. Beast.
10, 11. 11 infernoids,
wow,
and then 4 Shaddol effects.
That's insane.
He's going to get a Squamata, a Beast, a Hedgehog, and a Falco, I think.
Wow.
There might have not been a Hedgehog, but he has. Oh, nope, there's a Hedgehog.
There is.
Yep.
You can only activate 1 Shadow Fusion per. Well, he can't use summon fusions anyway, right?
You're right.
Is it only 1 Shadow Fusion per turn? Not that it's relevant here.
Well, it could be because he could then.
Yeah, you can only activate one per turn.
Otherwise, you would just Shaddol Fusion for Squamata, send core, add back Shaddol Fusion again, and that would be a pretty powerful interaction.
Only activate 1 per turn, and you can't activate any this turn because Dimensional Barrier.
Yeah, but he still gets to send a Shaddol core with Squamata, so he gets to add back the Shaddol Fusion just in case.
Yeah, this is insane.
If Smith manages to somehow push back through this.
Yeah, and he runs El Shaddol Fusion.
Squamata's going to activate. He's definitely going to send core. That left arm offering basically drew, like, effectively like a new hand.
Yeah, for sure. Way better than a new hand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Is it just game?
I don't think he can win this turn, right?
Probably not because of the Infernoid level restrictions.
Yeah. He can Anunku, so he can clear the board.
Yeah. If he does that, then his Falco dies, but that might not be the biggest deal. Can you only special summon an Infernoid once per turn? No, right? Like he can just get Sightsamus first?
Yes, but Anunku would Dark Hole.
Yeah, but he might not even want an Anunku here.
Oh, that's true.
He could
you're
just like summon he can summon an Anunku without activating its effect, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he could just
that.
use it as a way to protect and just Sightsamus plus it.
It's optional. And Anunku negates spell and crap cards too.
Oh, then he might actually take Deviati then instead of Anunku.
Yeah, so, you mean just to have the backup to negate monsters?
Yeah, just as a disruption threat. Like he just Sightsamus. Sightsamus will clear 2 threats, and then whatever the next one was will clear the 3rd threat, and then he'll have a way to negate whatever his opponent has, in addition to like the inherent DD Crow-esque effect.
Yeah,
just being able to banish one of your opponent's monsters or cards from their graveyard with an Infernoid.
Interestingly, Smith does have Dark Hole in his hand.
Yeah, so it just depends which Infernoid he gets. But even then, a Dark Hole's hit away, the Infernoids are still, there's going to be a lot of them in the grave still.
Yes.
He's going to banish a total of 5 if he summons Sightsamus plus a huge Infernoid that costs 3 like Deviati or Onunku. So
it looks like he's taking your play.
Yep, and it looks like he has chosen Onunku.
He's going for the Anunku, but not going to clear the field.
Yeah, no, so he's going Satsumas Anunku.
What's this one?
Dark Hole.
Okay.
And then it negates spells? Yeah, spells and traps. When I activate his effect, destroy the field.
So he took a little both of our plays. He summoned the Sightsmith and the Anunku.
Wait, so then why did he activate? Oh, I understand.
Wow.
So he's going to use Void Seer. Pretty cool.
I forgot about Void Seer.
Yeah, to protect Sightsamus.
By banishing Void Seer from the graveyard, he can protect one of his infernoids from a card effect that would destroy it. So that's pretty good. That's just a good way to press damage. Doesn't really progress his board since he was going to clear the field anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested because the Saitsumas would just banish a card, right? Or is this Saitsumas or Antondal?
That actually might be an Antondal. That is Antondal.
Sure, 700? Yep.
Yeah, so
Antondal's
I don't
the double
know
attacker.
why. Maybe because of he's trying to play around Whiptail. That's probably it.
Could be.
But he could do that with Saitsumas if he had a Saitsumas in the grave. Because he can just Saitsumas Onunku and then have the Saitsumas banish the Trident at the end of the battle phase.
He could do that.
Does it have to make a direct attack or anything? No, right? It's just
no,
attack?
Saitsumas just has to battle, I believe. Attacks an opponent's monster.
Yeah.
And then the effect activates at the end of the battle phase.
Yeah. So I don't know, this is interesting because he could have also just kept the Void Seer in the grave. Like he, instead of summoning Onunku, summons Deviati to negate monster effects, and then the Void Seer can protect the Onunku if he had, or the Deviati if he has removal for it.
Yeah, so he could have done that. That seems like it would have been pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. But this line's fine too.
Yeah.
Presses for more damage.
These Infernoid cards all look alike.
Yep. Their names are also crazy.
It's hard to tell on camera. Onunku has a very distinct look, though.
Yeah, Onunku and Deviati are very easy to tell. Same thing with Decatron.
Very regal.
But the fact that Antondal and Saitsumas look so similar, and then in addition to that, all of the smaller ones look very, very similar.
Yeah. Like machines with wings, right? They're fiends.
Yep, infernoids. They're like infernal android. Terrible demon monsters.
Yeah, scary.
Indeed. I'm sure that's exactly what Fraser Smith is experiencing right now.
So Onunku's effect negates Tenki? Is that what he just did there?
Looks like it.
I guess he tributed it.
That's interesting. I feel like you might not want to, I guess, if you just expect your opponent not to have any monster, but you already know they have Whiptail. So I don't know why you would choose to negate Tenki.
I don't know. Dark Hole's the Antondal.
He tributes it in response. Gonna probably banish Rat Pierre.
Oh yeah, there's one Rapier in there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually problematic for Smith.
He thumbs Daigusto Emerald to the front, though. Thumbs Borbo to the front.
I don't know. Well, he gets rid of Borbo.
That's interesting.
Did he already get rid of Rapier, or is that still in there?
Nope, it's still in there.
That's odd.
Indeed. And now, this is crazy. What's
I think we're gonna see
Sutton's set?
That I don't know.
Sutton actually just shouldn't even have. Didn't he left arm offering last turn?
Yeah, but he drew a card with Beast.
Yeah, but aren't you not allowed to set the same turn you activate left arm offering?
Is that before or the whole turn?
Pretty sure it's the whole turn.
You're right. During the turn, you activate the card.
Yep. Let's see if we can.
Let's see if we can correct that.
Yep.
The person who comes in first has their choice of any of the 4 structure deck playmats we have up in the front. These include the Kaiba structure deck, Yugi structure deck, Pendulum Domination structure deck, and Emperor of Darkness structure deck playmats.
You can't set
We're also still taking time for our next to win a match. Entry is $12. You get 3 packs
Yep.
for entry.
Luckily, not too much has happened. But
Very good catch. So they're just going to return that card to his hand.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if Smith has game here, but he might.
It's possible.
Yeah, it actually might have been if he didn't have the Rapier in the graveyard, because maybe then he's supposed to, like... Oh, I guess it's the same thing versus, like, Tiger Mortaring it back versus,
right,
like, Tiger Mortaring a different monster.
I was going to make Total Bird. Now it's kind of awkward. I'm glad I didn't make Total Bird. Okay. So.
Yep. A big downside to left arm offering. It's actually a big reason why I thought the deck was better than it was at first, because I thought you could activate a Void Banishment and discard a card, get Void Feast, set it, and then left arm offering your hand away or something like that, or still be able to Void Feast the same turn you left arm offering, but unfortunately you cannot.
Yeah,
so.
I forgot about that. So this could actually be an impressive turnaround by Smith.
Yeah, but I feel like it might have just been because of some missteps by...
Oh, I agree. I'm not crazy about that Anunku play.
Yeah.
Where Sutton used Void Seer to protect his monster.
Yeah, it seemed pretty all in for the minimal amount of damage.
Yeah. Negating Tenki, I'm not a huge fan of with Anunku's effect. But that's the line he chose. It's the line he'll live with. Now
Sutton will also have... Sorry, what were you saying?
Now the question is just whether Smith can beat him this turn.
Yeah, I think he can. 24, what's 25, 16, 38. Is that enough?
That's
Probably
79.
Not. 79?
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
So Gaga Samurai is definitely part of how he would win.
Oh, no. Totem Bird is 300 more, right? I'm pretty sure he has.
Totem Bird's 19.
Yeah, so it's more than...
So if he does 19 and 38, that's 57. Then he would need 23 on the...
Yeah, which is just 2 Whiptails.
Broad Bull.
Yeah, and then no just searches for Whiptail
on the field, but he has 1 in his hand. You're right. So yeah. 2. Well, does he have another Whiptail, or is the third one
he has
gone?
a Whiptail under it already.
Right.
Because he started his combo. So with the Whiptail in his hand... Like, here's Gaga Samurai. Yeah, this is it. This is just 38, 19, 25.
69, 81.
Yep.
Yep.
So he can attack twice. So 19, 19, 19, and then 24.
Yep, 8,100.
It's not 82?
I think it's 81, right?
It's not 57 plus
24.
25?
24.
25 because of the Tenki.
Oh, you're right. Tenki. A
Aha.
100 boost from Tenki.
Yep.
All right, 82.
So Smith turns it around. Even after getting a crazy that grass looks greener, Sutton manages to not eke it out. Just the combination of cards that Smith had.
Yeah, that was a huge comeback by Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, one big thing that we haven't seen yet is Fairy Tale Snow. Had Sutton mill any copies of Fairy Tale Snow, this game would have been very different.
It certainly would have.
Yeah.
He definitely would not have just lost there.
Yeah.
How many copies does he play? 2.
Looks like 2. I don't know about that one either. I feel like that is a powerful 3 of in most that grass looks greener strategies, especially Infernoid.
You only really need 1, though, in the graveyard.
True, but you always want to see it.
That's
and
true.
hitting another one, hitting 2 just means you're banishing 1 for the other. So it's not that bad.
That's true.
Yeah. It's a lot like multiple copies of Twin Twister. Like, worst case scenario, you just discard the second Twin Twister for the first one.
Like, just don't sit down and be like, I don't know what they do.
He can't catch
you playing in front of him, I know what all of them do. Like, if you don't, just pretend.
Looking back at Zodiac, so this is going to be the first time that Sutton will get to go first, right?
Yes, actually.
Yep. So he went second both games because he was able to resolve a Shadal Fusion on his first turn. So barring drawing Shadal Fusion, I feel like he is just better off going first, though, because that means he opens up Void Feast. And
Yes.
Void Feast is a big reason why Infernoids are so powerful right now. Yeah. Somewhere between a gear and a painful choice.
Yeah. Start off with a bunch of monsters that can negate a bunch of effects.
Yeah.
Not to mention, starting with that grass looks greener is pretty good, too, before your opponent has any opportunity to respond to it or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, Sutton even mentions how he hit that many cards and no copies of Snow.
Yeah.
Over a third of his deck.
Something I've never seen, actually. On the deck list form, there is not enough room under the monster card column for Sutton to list all of the monsters in his deck.
Yep, had to just use the sidebar for his 2 maxis.
He's running a lot of different monsters.
Yep. The Shadal engine, he wants a variety of Shadals so he can trigger multiple effects in a single turn because of that grass looks greener. The most interesting card in his strategy is Fiendish Rhino Warrior. I think that is definitely something I have not seen in Infernoid.
Yeah, that's a Burning Abyss exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Sutton let Smith go first.
Interesting. He's probably just really banking on Shadal Fusion.
Could be.
And instead has 2 copies of Shadal Beast, Void Feast, Onunku, and Void Seer. So 5 cards that actually do nothing. The Void Feast, if he had gone first, he could have just gone set Void Feast. Oh, no, that doesn't work because he needs the Void Seer face up, right?
Yeah, he needs to be able to activate it.
So his hand actually just does nothing.
So I guess he's better off going second because if you play,
he needs the 6th
at least
card.
he gets the 6th card.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a chance.
Yeah, 1 card can turn things around very, very quickly for this deck, though. So at least there's that.
Fraser Smith starts with 8,050 life points again for no reason.
Yeah, I'm unsure.
I'm sure it'll correct itself.
Yep.
It's the only good thing about drawing.
So Thoroughblade for Smith. He gets to send combo to his graveyard and draw.
Yeah. Does he have Barrage? Nope. So it doesn't look like he's going to be comboing this turn. Oh, no, he does have Barrage. Yeah, pretty ideal.
He picked it up, actually, I think.
Oh.
With Thoroughblade.
Always lucky.
Yeah.
Invitational players, that is time in the round. Please go to 5-turn end of match procedures. If you need assistance,
He activates Barrage.
once again, that is time
Likely
in the
going to
round.
launch itself. So you can find the Zodiac Wrap here. I think he might be considering just showing his own Thoroughblade, but I don't really see why you'd want that. What it does is it lets you keep Barrage in play next turn so that you can Barrage again, but keeping a monster on the field is essentially like having a Barrage for the following turn. It just means that you're vulnerable to different types of cards.
Void Feast can actually send Void Spell or Trap cards from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard.
There you go. So then he could have just set Void Feast and Void Feasted and might have been in this game. How good was Smith's hand if it had gone second? Oh, he had Dark Hole? I guess like the Anunku would have mattered. But he had
you could negate
Jizukuru
that.
plus Dark Hole. So he would have been
Alright.
able to clear everything anyway. But he still would have had a bunch of Infernoids in the grave, at least for the following turn. The good thing about Void Seer is that, or Void Feast, is that you do fill up your grave substantially with Infernoids. Because both your Decatrons are going to send something, and plus you also get the Jet.
Right. So even if your field falls apart, at least you have a graveyard to rebound.
Yeah, you'll have 5 total Infernoids. So you could summon a one that requires 3, or you could summon 2 that require 2.
Infernoids are very cool. They're definitely one of the coolest themes out there.
Yeah, they're super powerful.
I still remember when Eric Christensen won a YCS with it.
Yep.
Dominated by Necros.
It was Burning Abyss, actually. That was the Beatrice Burning Abyss deck, wasn't it? Not Necros?
I'm pretty sure it was a Necros format.
Oh, I don't know. All I know is that he beat Matt Kalinda in the finals, and Matt Kalinda was using Burning Abyss, which would make me think it was a Burning Abyss event, but
maybe you're right. Maybe I am misremembering.
Yeah. I mean, Burning Abyss sort of like bled out for so long that...
Yeah, I just remember that was the first weekend where Infernoids were really made it onto people's radar.
Yeah.
Prior to that event, they were kind of just these weird monsters that were in a bunch of sets.
Yeah, that was also, I think, particularly because of Reasoning, though. Like, Reasoning being able to...
Of course. Reasoning
was like
that
grass
time,
looks greener 1.0 almost.
At that time, Reasoning was the reason he used that deck.
Yeah. Ooh, so Smith probably thought he was going second and sided out the Lunalight combo. But because he was able to go first, was not able to pull off the Lunalight combo. What was the 6th card that...
A second Void Seer.
Nice.
Oh, that is not good.
Definitely not.
No, this is his hand is devoid of any plays. I guess he sets a Void Seer and a Feast.
The more public events you enter, the better chance you have of being selected for one of those two events. If you're interested in entering any of our public events and get your entries into the drawings for the UBS prize playmat, please come up for registration.
Smith switches his Dryden's position. Has no attack points, so might as well make it so it's not vulnerable to Mirror Force or one of its various forms.
Yep.
Thorough-blade attacks directly. And now Sutton must decide whether or not to activate Void Feast.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to take the damage and maybe Void Feast on his own turn or at the end of Smith's turn. It looks like he did bring in those copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance.
Well,
that's going to cut out a lot of outs that Sutton could find.
Yeah, like that Grass looks greener, for example.
Yep, and Shaddoll Fusion.
Yeah.
And Left Arm Offering, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them will have to wait, and he will probably not have enough time to wait.
Yeah, unless he makes a big play here, I can't imagine he'll have too many turns. Maybe one more turn if he's lucky. So far, I mean, Sutton got two amazing hands in the first two duels.
Yeah.
But it looks like his luck really caught up to him because his hand in this duel was
not the best. I mean, I think it's just primarily, though, like, I don't even know if they should have gone to Game 3 because of what happened during Game 2.
Yeah. I think he probably had a path to win that duel.
Yeah, definitely.
Given the cards he drew and the cards he sent to the graveyard with That Grass Looks Greener. But here we are.
Yep. Sets 2.
Go ahead.
Face chooses to Void Feast. Wants to make sure he gets that jet.
Yeah, I think he probably figures if that Void Feast doesn't resolve, he just loses.
Yeah.
So. Does it in the end phase. There's the jet and two Decatrons.
Chain Dryden.
Does
Chain Dryden.
Decatron send to the graveyard as part of its cost?
I don't believe so. And even if it did, he wouldn't be able to negate or anything because the effect would have to resolve for him to copy it.
Right. Okay.
He's going to Void Seer.
Oh.
So on field, it's like a lance? Yeah. Okay. In the graveyard, it protects.
You use both of them?
Wait. Why'd he use two Seers?
Sure. Banish it from grave, protect it, and target the one on field to...
Because he has to use one for each destruction. So what it should have been is that he needs to banish the first one. He needs to banish one, right? And the banished one responds to the second chain link Trident. And then he activates the set one, and the set one targets the Decatron that was targeted by the chain link 1 Trident.
So Smith used the effect of two Tridents.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So he gets to
those Void Seers
keep his
actually just
Decatrons.
had so much use there. And he also got a Void Seer into the grave, right?
By activating his face down one, yes. So
yes,
he still
and
has
now
another
he has a way
use.
to protect it from the Trident the following turn.
That's actually really good.
Yeah, super good.
So Zodiac Trident can only be summoned once per turn, but you can use this effect multiple times if you have multiple Tridents.
Yep, once per Trident.
Yeah, it's once per turn, but not a hard once per turn.
So I'm thinking now.
Smith is thinking, but he only had one card set, so he could only respond with that one card during the end phase. He's going to Whiptail. Oh, he's going to Whiptail onto Trident, it looks like, just so he can get 2 activations.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because as you were saying, the first Trident will be stopped by the Void Seer.
Yeah.
Monster, he's a spell trap, he's the Nightmare.
He negates monster effects?
Yes.
No, he negates spells and traps.
Clarifying
spells and traps.
which
So this one negates spells and traps.
Infernoid each Decatron copied.
So life points is it? Life points are.
What was it? It was the Nunku and what's the other one?
Onunku and Deviati, right?
Is it Deviati?
I thought it was, but perhaps he did send Petrulia or something else, or Harmadic?
I don't know. I guess we'll see, based on what he does with it.
I did. Yes, on your draw phase,
I can't see it under the Onunku, though.
So, just do it again.
Is that a left arm offering you drew?
Did it at random while I was fixing the life points.
It looks like it.
If Smith lets him activate it, and then he banishes his whole hand and adds that Grasslook Screener to his hand.
Yeah, Onunku's the one who negates spell traps.
Onunku, yes.
Yeah, so he could negate that Grasslook Screener. I mean, not that Grasslook Screener. He could negate the anti-spell fragrance if he wanted to.
That's true.
To force through.
That is true. He could do that. You're right. Well, although, I mean, we're far ways off because Trident's effects haven't activated or resolved yet.
Yeah, well, he's going to Void Seer, but then he can activate the second Trident, so.
Right, so he will Void Seer to protect his first Decatron from Trident's effect. And now Smith can chain the effect of his other Tridents if he'd like and have his choice of what to destroy.
Yeah, I'm interested as to why he chose to send the monster that wasn't Deviati.
If that's not Deviati. I really can't see it.
I don't think it
under
is
the Onunku.
because of the rarity. I think it's a super and ultra rare, and Deviati is a...
Only an ultra.
Oh, no, maybe... No, what? Maybe I'm just being super confused. Oh, Deviati is an ultra rare. So maybe it is Deviati. I just can't tell from here. But then...
Either way, both Tridents resolved, and Smith was able to destroy his choice of Decatron. But Sutton, for good measure, changed the effect of the Decatron. Or rather, whatever it was copying. Now we can see it.
It looked like Harmadic, I think.
I think you're right. I think it's a Harmadic.
Anti-spell fragrance is flipped up. Harmadic destroys monsters?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just so confused.
Unless it was a Petrulia?
No, is it... He just shuffled it back. Oh, is it the Primace? Is Primace the shuffler? Does it reveal it when you shuffle it?
It doesn't reveal it.
All right, but it just shuffles it back. I'm pretty sure it's Primace because he just shuffled back the set Dark Hole.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Then we figured it out then.
Yep. But it's still interesting that he chose not to send Deviati.
To negate monster effects.
Yeah.
Available are the Kaiju structure deck, UV structure deck, Pendulum Domination structure deck, and Emperor Darkness structure deck.
So now anti-spell fragrance is
Oh, it looks like he's gonna... Is that a Vermilion mech? What is that? Or is it Scarlight?
Decatron gains the level or becomes
Ooh, is that Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend?
It looks like it.
Yes.
So that's probably why he did it. He was planning to use it as a synchro material.
That explains it. So now he's able to wipe Smith's entire field and deal 500 damage. Is it for each monster?
Yes, for each monster destroyed. So he'll deal 15.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend.
Yep, Scarlight. Haven't seen much of this guy, but he is a super powerful level 8.
Yeah, I see him in a
Synchro.
lot of extra decks, but I don't see him summoned a lot.
Yeah.
It's definitely...
He usually ends the game when he comes down.
Yeah. It's definitely way better than the original Red Dragon Archfiend.
Definitely the case.
That card saw a lot of play for a while, too.
Okay, so was it?
Time was called on
0, 1. Okay.
Yeah. Looks like Smith is considering spawning with his set card. He asks what turn of time it is. They are on the first turn of time, but first as in the second, as in Frazier was turn 0, and Sutton was turn 1.
Do you know what the set card is?
I would assume it's strike based on how he's responding, yeah.
Yep, you're right.
He can start bringing back infernoids. He can bring back Ununku.
That would be really good if he can. Does he? Yeah, he must have at least 3 plus the Anonku in there. We're definitely going to see that, I think.
Yeah.
3 still. Give me a second.
So he needs to be able to clear
Looks like
the
he's going to
field
activate
for
Zodiac
sure.
combo now
In
and
case-
try to draw something like DD Crow. That could end the game.
That would be incredible. And he does play 3.
He does not have enough to activate it.
Oh, he doesn't have 5 different ones, I
Nope,
guess.
he has 4.
Hmm. So I think we just see a Nunku here, right? Clear the field, attack directly, and then all of a sudden Sutton has more life points.
Yeah. And then he could even... I don't know if he actually wants to do anything more. I was going to say he could maybe like set Shadal Beast over the Anuku, but there's just no point. You'd rather have a big monster that can negate things.
Spells and traps, yeah. I mean, he could set Left Arm Offering, but there's virtually no chance he'll be able to use that card effectively.
Yeah, I mean, I think you still set it, though.
Yeah, I mean, he could draw an answer to the Anti-Spell Fragrance.
Yeah.
With what, Petrulia, I think it is, that destroys?
Yeah.
Yeah. Petrulia destroys any spell or trap card. So if he draws a Petrulia or a Decatron to Petrulia, you can get rid of Anti-Spell Fragrance. But in that case, he wouldn't need the Left Arm Offering set.
Yep. Now Smith is going to combo.
He doesn't have the banish effect, does he? From the grave? He doesn't.
No, he negates spells and traps.
Smith verifying that the large Infernoids, Deviana and Nuku, do not have the banishing DD Crow effect.
Yeah, they are far too powerful to just tribute themselves and banish cards from the opponent's graveyard.
Of course not.
They are beyond that. Just tribute the little guys to negate stuff.
Yeah, he can negate it with Anunku, can he? But then he would have to trade off his Anunku.
Combo from the graveyard?
Yeah, because Anunku negates spell trap card or effect. Like I believe it negates the card or the effect.
Let's
of
find
the
out.
card. So
When a spell, trap card, or effect is activated, I believe you're right, but I don't know if that's really worth trading your Anunku.
no, it's definitely not because of time. He just needs a big
Yeah.
body. He's going to deal damage, and hopefully that's just going to be enough. What he could do actually is set Shadal Beast just as a way for Smith not to Trident it.
I was just going to say, he is vulnerable to Trident this way. Had he set the Beast, he probably wouldn't be. I think you're right. That actually might have been a good play, given that they're in time especially.
Yeah, we'll see what he does, though. It also helps you fill your graveyard, too. Like, if you can get that Beast off, just mini Graceful Charity.
Draw to discard 1 with its
Yeah.
flip effect. You don't see flip effects a lot, but
nope,
that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Oh, 46. Is that right? Yeah, 46.
A lot of monsters, too, now have flip effects that aren't really flip effects. Like Alistair, I think, is the most relevant monster we have right now that has an effect when it's flipped that's not
Right.
actually a flip effect. Or Fossil Time Packs to follow. I guess that's another one.
That's true.
I can't think of many others right now. Oh, it looks like he did set the Shadal Beast.
So I guess he comboed in... I guess that was not an end phase combo. That was just...
No, that was after the
effect
Anunku was
resolved.
summoned, yeah.
Interesting.
It was as soon as he could do it because the Anunku destroyed everything,
Yeah.
and then as soon as he had the fuel in his graveyard to shuffle back, decided it was worth it. Yeah.
Oh, and then he can summon another Anunku. So now he can negate a spell on a trap card, and he has the Beast on the field.
Yep.
Okay, now he definitely can't use left arm offering.
Yeah. At that point, though, I feel like you were maybe supposed to special summon this Ununku in... actually, no. I was going to say maybe you special summon in defense mode, but that's just asking to get whip-tailed and then have the monster live rather than die.
What would be the advantage to defense mode?
Just life points, but I was saying that attack mode matters more now just because of whip-tail.
If they get over 3,000, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Smith does have a pretty good hand to fight through this. Actually, does he? He has a Kiru.
2 copies of Whiptail, Thoroughblade, and Strike. I mean, he has 1 Rapier in the graveyard, so he has the combo online.
Okay, so yeah, so he does. Because he can grind into Ununku at a minimum. He has no spells or traps, so he doesn't have to worry about Ununku's effect at all. It's virtually irrelevant.
Yeah.
Smith summons Thoroughblade. Now, does he want to trade in a Whiptail for a draw? Appears not.
He has 2 copies of Whiptail. Is he able to just... Never mind. I was going to say, like, maybe he could have just OTK'd with Borbo through, but I think he's shy, like, 400 damage.
12, 24 plus 16, 4,000.
Or 600 damage.
Yeah, 600 short.
Like, if he had actually, no. Oh, I was going to say he could Broadwolf for it, but the 3rd Whiptail's banished.
Yeah. Or if he had, like, another Whiptail or Thoroughblade in the graveyard, he could also Tiger Mortar for it.
Yes, yes, that would have worked as well.
Actually, he almost could have won just with Borbo. Borbo, rather. But instead, he'll have to settle for the classic Zodiac combos.
Yeah. I mean, it's still just probably game. He gets to Dryden and then Gaga Samurai.
He gets another turn after this?
Yes.
All right.
I believe so.
He can't, well, yeah, he can't stop the Nunku and the Beast.
Right. I mean, stop.
Like, he can't destroy.
Right,
so
but he knows it's Beast set.
Right.
Because that's the only monster he would set 1,700 defense, so that means Gaga Samurai can get through it.
Right.
So that's 1,900 from Gaga Samurai. Plus, he still has the Whiptails and the Thoroughblade on his monster. So he still has 4,000.
Right,
so it should just be game. I think he's made the read that the set just is a bluff, or it's a spell that he was forced to set under anti-spell. So it's just game here.
Okay.
That's a tribute set, right?
He's confirming that Sutton tribute set that monster. And he just said it's a beast, so clearly he has made the same read that you did.
Yeah.
This is currently 16 years.
Oh, the Dryden pierces, too.
Yep. But I think it's just better to attack. Oh, chose to Daigusto Emerald. Maybe it's still game because of the piercing. 18, 17 shy, 23. So it's 23 plus 18. That's 41. Nope, that's 500 short.
Let's see. If he made a Samurai there, could he have won? He would attack Dixie's material from Dryden.
It's just 19 plus 4,000.
It would be...
Because the Dryden would have 16 plus 2 whip. Dryden would have Thoroughblade, Whiptail, Whiptail.
Okay, yeah.
So that's 4,000. Right. And then Samurai has enough attack to destroy the Beast and then attack again for 19.
Oh, so he has game on board now anyway. He can just strap 2 Whiptails onto the Dryden.
No, that's only 4,000.
Piercing through 1,700 defense, so that's...
It's shy. It's shy
No,
damage.
that's 20...
That's 23 plus
23
18.
plus 18
that's 41.
Emerald, you're
yeah,
right.
he's 500 short now.
4,000... Yeah, you're right. There's nothing strong to Tiger Mortar.
Oh, Gamma Seal might actually change it. No, wait.
No, that makes even less damage.
But now he's just not going for damage. Now he's just playing a real game. Has he not used his normal summon? Oh, no, it's Zookeeper. Okay, so this is now game. Right,
Yeah.
because he gets the extra attacker? Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
But he needed to draw. He drew Gamma Seal off of Daigusto Emerald.
Right.
So this was not the original line.
So he attacks Anunku, 300 points of damage down to 43.
That's interesting that he chose to attack over Anunku rather than destroy it with Dryden. Now he's destroying the Gamma Seal, which just has less attack than the Anunku had.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. If he could be stopped, he stopped. And if not, he just wins. And it appears that the latter is about to happen.
Yeah.
25 to 35.
Yep.
Yep. Flying attack with Drynet. Booktail.
Yep.
Yep. All right. And that's it. So Fraser Smith takes a big comeback in the second duel, and pushes it to a third, and then dominates the third duel.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Sutton drew an incredible hand in the first two. His luck definitely caught up to him in the third. It wasn't
well,
nearly
it was
as good.
pretty close there. All it needed was not anti-spell fragrance to be drawn, and then that grass looks greener would have gotten back in the game for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That would have changed it.
Yeah, it's rough. I
Yeah.
feel like there was definitely a line that Sutton could have taken game 2 to win, and then game 3, it felt like Smith sort of, I don't know, like the anti-spell was big, but even then, he could have given Sutton another turn. And if he gives Sutton another turn, he can then flip that grass looks greener. And then that might have just been it again. So, I don't know, that was an interesting match.
Yeah,
for
it
certain.
was definitely a very close one.
Yeah.
But for now, Fraser Smith is going to move on with a 4-1 record.
Yep.
But Fred Sutton at 3-2 is still not eliminated because there are so many rounds in this tournament. Persistent duelists who continue to do well, even with early losses, can make it to day 2 and eventually the top cut.
Yep.
So that's round 5. We'll be back shortly with a winner interview from our round 5 feature match. So stay tuned.
With no monsters left on the field, I summon Dark Magician. Declare direct attack.
Ah, you got me.
Told the master.
GG.
GG. I gotta bounce, guys.
All right, man.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Choose from over 700 classic cards to build your ultimate deck. Unlock and play as your favorite characters. Summon powerful monsters and become a duel master. With infinite combinations, it's anyone's battle to win.
Harpy Lady Sisters! Triple Scratch Attack!
Rematch?
Bring it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, the ultimate real-time PvP battle. Now on mobile. Download free on App Store and Google Play.
Here with Fraser Smith, the winner of the Round 5 feature match. We just saw him win 2-1 against an infernoid deck that used Shadow cards in it. And he got some incredible draws in the first 2 duels. We saw that grass looks greener flip most of his deck up, well, not most, but a large fraction of his deck over and get effects from that. Did you, from where I was sitting watching the match, I certainly didn't think you'd win that second duel. What did you think?
When he had an opportunity to banish my rat, and he chose to banish the Borbo, I was like, oh my god, I have to OTK him right now because I'm at 15 and he's gonna summon a guy that dark holes the field and kill me. So I was like, this has to be game right here. He misplayed. So if I have a chance, I just had to go for it. I had Terra Top and I saw the OTK. I was like, I'm just going for it. So that game I just went for it. He gave me a chance, so I just took it.
Yeah. So you did go for it in that second game, and you got a come from behind victory. And then in the third game, there was quite a reversal of fortune. His hand was quite the opposite. It wasn't nearly as good. And you were able to use Tridents to take control of
What
the
really ended
duel.
up happening in that game was he actually drew the left arm offering that time, but I had anti-spell fragrance. So at the end of the game, his back row was actually left arm offering, which he would have been able to use to blow me out as usual. But because I had popped the Decatrons that could stop me from flipping, because one of them could stop spells and traps. So I popped that one, and then he saved, then I popped it again. I was like, I have to resolve anti-spell fragrance. They even have a shot. Because he also has Shadow Fusion, he has left arm offering, he has Grass is Greener. So there were too many blowout cards that I had to stop. So I was able to do that with double Trident and equipping one with Whiptail after I didn't have a material. It was a lot of like preparing for my anti-spell fragrance to go through.
Did you know he had the left arm offering, or did you
I had no
suspect?
idea. I just knew that he had so many blow. Like I thought I counted 3 Shaddoll Fusion, 3 Grasses Greener, 3 left arm offering. That's 9 cards out of 60. I was like, if he draws any one of them, I'm in such a bad shape because I opened up like okay, but if my anti-spell fragrance doesn't walk, I'm going to lose.
And then in the last turn, we noticed if you summoned a Gagaga Samurai, you might have been able to kill him through the Shadow Beast, which we heard that you figured out with his face-down monster. Why did you go for the Emerald play to draw into Gamma Seal, which you would ultimately use to win?
So I got lucky with the Gamma Seal thing, but what I had realized was I drew Strike for that turn, and I looked at his graveyard and I realized he had no graveyard. So I was like, well, he can't really win top decking next turn unless like something crazy happens. So I was like, if I just like attack him what I have, Emerald, draw a card, and just like set Strike with my like field of the Dryad and everything like that, like more than likely I should be able to win. I guess I actually did open myself up to losing because if his set was Grass is Greener instead of left arm, next turn if I let him live, he could flip it and then mill all the Shadolls, mill all the Infernoids again, mill Fairy Tale Snow, and come back. So it was 100% a misplay, I think, in my opinion, looking back at it now. But yeah, I mean, I saw the Strike and I got excited, not realizing that Strike doesn't actually stop when he mills 24 cards, and he has a graveyard full of guys that he could just like, any one of them comes out, you lose. So I should have just made Gaga Samurai. And I even said it to myself, like, that's a Shaddoll Beast. Make Samurai, kill him. It doesn't matter what he draws. He doesn't have enough for Snow, so even if he drew Snow and discarded it, he would still lose. So definitely a misplay. I'll try to play better, but yep.
Well, were you afraid of the back row that it might have been a trap? Because it's different when you know it's nothing, as we know from where we're sitting.
I
But
did get to see a lot more of his deck when he milled the first 2 games with Grass is Greener, and I noticed that there was no real traps. So I was like, in all honesty, I felt like it wasn't a real back. I was like, it's probably just a spell, probably Shaddoll Fusion. Like I said, I think I messed up with that. I should just make Samurai. I even calculated. Like, you saw me go, that's a Shaddoll Beast. Yeah. And I looked at the calculator. I said, well, he's at 46. A Gaga Samurai attacks over that. Dryden can pop the Infernoid, attack for 19, and then everyone attacks in this game. But I don't know. At the last minute, I just made like some weird switch to Daigusto Emerald, and then somehow I drew Gamma Seal. I was like, really? Like, that was so fortunate of me to draw that. But yeah, sometimes you gotta get lucky.
all right, congratulations on your round 5 win. So you're now 4-1, and good luck in making it to day 2 and becoming the ultimate duelist.
I hope so. Thank you. All right. See you guys.
Duelists need at least 100 qualifier points to qualify for the Ultimate Duelist Series Winter Invitational here in Las Vegas. I'm asking, there are tons of ways to get those points. I'm asking the duelists in attendance this weekend how they qualified for this weekend's Ultimate Duelist Series Invitational. How do you qualify?
I actually didn't even know I qualified till like Sunday after the San Diego Regional. Because like my friend like looked me up and told me about the UDS, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be in Vegas anyways. But and then he looked me up for me and told me I had enough points, and I saw, like, I guess I'm going to the UDS.
So how'd you get all those points?
I just like go to the regionals, I guess, but I don't know how I had that many. I really don't.
So just playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Playing. Like I got lucky, pretty much.
I won the UDS past February, so I think that was about 100 points. And then I topped a couple YCSs, so yeah, I guess those added up for about like 205 points, so just enough for a buy. So, yeah, pretty fortunate.
Well, I qualified for the UDS. It's a funny story. My friend Ed Substance, he just won the feature match. He took me to a locals to play for the pin, for the Blue Eyes pin, just so I could get UDS points. And then I had 40, and then plus, after I won the whole thing, it came up to like 95 points. And then just this last week at San Diego, I just got my last 5 points just to make it over here. And the whole time I didn't know whether I made it or not.
Where'd you get the 5 points from? What type of event?
The San Diego Regionals, just for participating.
So mostly from the UDS qualifiers you got points, but you got from regionals also?
Yeah. Everything came around, and then just everything added up to just exactly 100. Gave me enough points.
Perfect. How'd you get enough points to qualify?
I got enough points to qualify by topping multiple UDSs at local stores.
So the UDS qualifiers?
Yeah. And also, I've topped a couple regionals, too.
I got enough points to qualify because Los Angeles has a lot of tournaments, like the regionals, the OTSs, some of the locals actually give you UDS points. So I went to every one of those and just kept building and building up, and then I could just come here and try to win the belt.
So you just played in a lot of different official tournament events.
Hi. I qualified for the UDS for playing at locals and regionals.
What type of locals? Like UDS qualifiers or
OTSs, tournament stores, official stores, so they give you points.
So I qualified for this UDS by playing at locals a lot. Playing, not winning, but playing.
What type of locals?
Game stores.
Were like UDS qualifiers or OTS championships or?
A few UDS qualifiers. Yeah.
Welcome back. We are now in round 6 of the Ultimate Duelist Series Invitational. This round, we have Mario Ramos against Marcus Crease. It looks like we have a 60-card Lightsworn, Zombie, That Grass Looks Greener Turbo strategy, including some Zodiacs, against a pure Zodiac strategy with only interesting thing about this one is Storming Mirror Forces in the main deck.
Looks like the only Zodiac in here is Ratpier.
Yep, with 3 copies of Barrage.
Very interesting.
Yep. So we'll head down to the table, get right to the action. Yeah, with only Ratpier in his deck, that means his Broadwell has to be searching something else, so it's likely the Arcus.
Arcus, or if he needs it, the Mana Core of Darkness.
Yeah, the Mana Core of Darkness is going to be a good one. For those of you who aren't familiar, there's a way to loop the 2 Mana Core of Darknesses back and forth, so you can deck your opponent out if they max C you. And with max C being one of the most popular played cards, and considered one of the strongest cards in the format, it's interesting that you can have access to a way to just beat your opponent if they have max C.
Ramos starting out pretty strong. He's got the Terror Top to Ketenborg combo, along with the normal summoned Rat to send combo to the graveyard. Doesn't get much better than that.
Definitely not. He doesn't have too good of a trap yet. His best trap is Torrential Tribute, but...
I mean, that's what you mentioned earlier, was that Torrential Tribute isn't so great for actually defending yourself once you've got a position established.
I originally was a pretty big fan of it because it's just one of the few traps that does a lot. You know, it clears everything. That means it's okay going second too, because your opponent will usually summon something else, you know, try to press a little more and you can get in with a Torrential Tribute. But I've been liking it less and less in Zodiac. I think that like a lot of times you'd just rather have either a hand trap or maybe like a Forbidden Chalice or My Body Shield, something that can interact better going first and second. I don't know.
Let's see. Is he running the
yep, the Lunalight combo? Yep.
Okay.
So he'll get a bunch of draws, and hopefully he'll be able to find, you know, a better type card. Albeit, the Lightsworn Turbo deck attacks from a few different angles, so Dimensional Barrier is not going to line up perfectly against it, but we'll see what happens.
It's also possible with the Lightsworn deck that you just get so many cards in the graveyard that you can just push through everything.
Yes, exactly. That's a big upside to the Grass Looks Greener strategies. When you get it off, you get so many extra resources that you can usually press through just about whatever your opponent has.
Take a look at Fusion Substitute there. That was originally a world premiere card.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't even realize that. That's awesome. It's super powerful fact. I remember at one point we were talking about using it in Shadal, just because it was a way, you know, an extra fusion card. You get a draw off it, not the worst, but yeah, I feel like this is definitely the best way to be using Fusion Substitute, obviously.
I think the Fusion Substitute is that it came out in a world that didn't have Norden.
Yeah, that was the big...
So it didn't really have an application for a long time.
Yeah, you need a good Fusion monster to summon, that's for certain. Especially when it requires you to use resources on the field.
Right.
And Norden lets you make up for the loss in resources, so you can do more. Yep.
There he goes. There's Norden and Rat.
Yep, the second Broad Bull's going to come out here.
Special summons Rat back. Dryden on top of Broad Bull and the other Rat yet again.
Yep. And now we're going to see a Daigusto Emerald most likely shuffling back 2 Rats and Daigusto Emerald. But first he's going to use Fusion Substitute to make sure that he gets a draw without having the Rat Piers in his deck. Yeah.
The Rats in your deck. Looks like he picked up Tenki.
Yeah, we were talking about shuffling not being the most fun. It's also interesting when you have draws in between the shuffling, so you actually have to make sure the deck is very properly shuffled.
Yeah. That's something that always introduces puts up a red flag when I'm going through all the checks for everything.
Yeah.
So is there a way we can take a shuffle out of this?
Yeah.
This card can summon from the deck or the graveyard or the hand. Can we just make it the hand or the graveyard?
Yeah.
Are you already going to have the materials you need?
Yeah. Beyond the fact that special summoning from the deck is probably the most powerful thing to do, right? Because you just get it out of nowhere, yeah. Looks like he's going to barrage away that Tenki and get a Throw Blade. Discard one of his Zodiac monsters to draw another card. How do you feel about Zodiac Ram Ram?
I actually like Ram Ram. I think it's better in like maybe a Metal Foe Zodiac variant where you have more ways that you can just destroy it yourself. Yeah. But if you're going to play that, maybe throw in Balbaboon in there too. But by then you're definitely firmly in Metal Foes.
Yeah, that's true. I like it. Well, like situations like this, for example, where you use Zodiac Barrage at the end of a combo. Instead of being Throw Blade to discard a card to try to draw a trap card, you can get a Ram Ram. And then Ram Ram protects you from cards like Dark Hole, Interrupted Kaiju, Slumber, Raigeki.
That's true. Very
and
useful
that's it.
Effect. Now, Grease
has had enough.
Does not pick up the one card he needs to get back in there.
Yeah, well, this is also concealing as much information as possible because you definitely don't put them on Lightsworn. You put them on the Infernoid deck because that is the more popular 60-card strategy. Or you don't know, it could be the Paleozoic strategy that's 60 cards. So
are people still playing that?
Not as much, but at least it's just, I think it's still represented a little bit more than the Lightsworn deck is. Maybe not this tournament specifically, but up until Seattle was super popular, Atlanta a little less popular, and now I think maybe the Lightsworn deck has become like up a notch in terms of the 60-card hierarchy. But I don't know. Regardless, I'm a fan of the concealed information.
Yeah, I thought maybe the win for non-60-card Paleozoic.
Yeah, no, I think that probably pushed out the 60-card version. Yeah, just being able to draw a Swap Frog consistently is what we saw that all in the top cut with Corey Roca. It just any game you have Swap Frog, you're so far ahead because totally awesome snowballs out of control very quickly. So let's take a look at side decks. On Crease's end, he's got copies of Drowning Mirror Force. We don't see that one too often. Usually Quaking. The Storming and regular Mirror Force even are more popular than Drowning because you need to have no monsters in play for Drowning.
Actually, I think you can use it when Borbo attacks you directly.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, because it's only direct attacks, but Borbo. That is super interesting, actually. I didn't even realize that. Haven't seen too much of Borbo attacking directly for as much.
But you could.
Yeah. Also got copies of Flying Sea, Danko Sekka, Xyz Encore.
Xyz Encore.
What? Twin Twister, Camasil, and Diamond Arrow. Xyz Encore, what year is this?
Like maybe he took a look at that matchup last time with the Red Eyes Flare Dragon.
Yeah.
With Xyz Universe under and just like, well, I gotta have something against that.
I mean, is that for the Zodiac me? Oh, it's for Totally Awesome?
It could be for, it could be for Toad.
I guess.
Maybe they're going to use it on Totem Bird? I don't know.
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, that's
wouldn't
interesting.
use it on Totem Bird, but the Toad maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. But out of side deck cards, I could see Flying Sea coming in. Because he's going first, though, maybe not. But I still think it's probably strong enough where he wants it, especially if it's in his side deck. On Ramos's end, copies of Dango Sekka, Lancia. He's probably bringing in Lancia because regardless of the 60-card strategy, they're usually banishing cards. DD Crow as well. You just want to be able to hit out the graveyard. Dark Hole maybe, just because he's going second. He might want it as a way to clear out fields. Enemy Controller, you could have a similar argument because they're likely to end with Dryden or things like that, but maybe you want it more in the mirror and less of this kind of matchup. Twin Twister, probably not. Imperial Iron Wall, that seems super strong, but he might only want it going first. So I think that one's a little bit up in the air. Albeit it is a strong card, it might just be a little too slow.
Yeah, I don't think you can put that in if you're going to go second.
Yeah, and then last card being Chain Disappearance. Again, another card you want going first. You'd probably want it against Infernoids, the 60-card one definitely, because it hits Decatron and it hits Rapier. But once again, it's just so poor going second that I don't think it's worthwhile. It's even worse than Iron Wall going second because it's just so hard to resolve after they've comboed.
And it's not even like a blanket thing where you can at least put it up and stop further stuff. It's very specific in what it blocks.
Yeah, Crease's hand is crazy. He has Terratop into Taketomborg. He has Rapier, so he has the full Zodiac combo, and he has that Grasslook screener. So he's going to be able to combo completely.
Does he have
that
a top?
Grasslook screener? Yeah, he started with top.
Started
yeah.
with top. Okay.
Yeah, so now he gets the full combo with Totem Bird. That grass looks greener, and he'll have instant fusion to make another rank 4 if he wants to.
The one thing with having all these cards at once, though, is it lowers the impact of Grass Looks Greener a little bit by taking cards out of the deck.
That's true.
Not by a huge amount, because you're putting cards back in.
Well, now it's just game, right? Or close to it?
If he can get
A
both
mana core?
copies,
Yeah.
he has to get both, because you have to be able to loop the two together.
Yeah. Well, does he have Bujinte Kagetsuchi in his extra shade? Yeah, well, he gets a lot of mills, because that instant fusion represents 5 more mills. But every special summon, too, makes... Oh, no, and he wants to special summon as much as possible, right? Because it makes that grass look greener better.
Right.
So this actually might just be it.
Very interesting to see if he can pull it off.
Yeah, it's super cool.
What is the most impressive win you've seen in a feature match?
The most impressive?
What's the coolest move somebody's done?
The one that comes to mind the most recently was obviously at YCS Atlanta. We have the playback for it where the 55-card deck, Cataville with Master Darkness.
Yeah,
he won with a lot of flair.
Right.
Exactly.
Literally.
And, yes. And so that one's up there, but I think that's just a recent memory. In terms of, like, I don't know, interesting, cool stuff. Yeah, nothing immediately comes to mind.
I liked the first round of the World Championship with Samir Bakar.
Was he the Dolce Ghost?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I do remember that.
Dolce, and it was actually a pretty good play where he realized that his opponent was going to try to negate his monster's effect so that he could Xyz Universe him, but then he destroyed his own Rafflesia in response with Treacherous Trap Hole.
Yeah, that's
to block
awesome.
And shut him out.
Yeah. Oh, didn't get to see what he milled. Maybe he hit Mana Core of Darkness?
I'm sure he was Solitaire.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I was doing coverage for that event, but I wasn't on the... Mana Core of Darkness, he did hit one. So now...
If he does, indeed, because he can get the other one with Broadbull here.
Yes, so that's
I think he's got it.
Yeah.
This might replace the Medolce play.
Yeah, this is a good one. I think this is the first time I've actually seen someone deck someone out on stream with Mana Core of Darkness.
I don't know. That's up there.
Yeah.
The past 365 days have had some pretty interesting wins. And now he's going to go ahead and put up the Totem Bird just in case there's some weird Typhoon-esque trap he doesn't know about that can put a stop to this.
Does Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit interrupt this combo?
It can't.
It can't because it's cost.
Happened in the graveyard.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, because it's in the graveyard. It activates to send the monster. It's not the on-field monster. That is true. I think he's just doing as much as he can just in case Ramosai and Decro, which he did. So he's not going to actually be able to deck him out, right? Because at some point he is going to draw that one DD Crow.
Did we see him sided in?
No, but I think you assume when it's 60 cards, right, that he would put it in. But no, we did not see him side in. So we don't know it's in his deck. But he also hasn't conceded.
Okay. Does he know
that he is lost because of Mana Core of Darkness? Maybe. I don't know.
I didn't see him read Mana Core of Darkness.
Which could mean one of two things, right? Yeah, like he knows what it does. Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's not useful information.
He's either like, that monster has some amount of text. That's okay, I don't want to read that. Or, oh, I know what that one does. So we'll see. Oh, now he's reading it. Okay, so maybe he doesn't know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, ho, ho.
And he didn't side it in.
No, but are you... I don't know, man. I want to see his side deck right now, because what if he just didn't realize he could interrupt it? Like, look, here's his side deck.
Let's see.
You guys got 3 minutes aside?
Oh, no,
he didn't put it in.
Jeez. I don't know.
Ooh.
I feel like that was a big mistake. 60
Ooh.
cards? How do you not put in the DD Crow?
Ooh.
Oh, man.
That's rough.
Yeah, well, lesson learned. Probably never not signing in that DD Crow after that one. But now we got a game 3. 2 very quick game 1s ending on the first turn both times, basically.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Like, at first it was a roller coaster of emotions. First, I was so excited he was going to get decked out. Then I was a little disappointed that he probably wasn't. And then, boom, that was it.
Oh, he didn't play Crow.
Yeah. That's
you
up
got
there.
Excitement, despair, and intrigue all at once.
Okay, so most interesting feature match wins. There was the one that was also at YCS Atlanta, the Lullaby of Obedience. Did you see that one?
No.
So game 1, one duelist is using a Zodiac deck, meaning 3 copies of Lullaby. That was very popular for that tournament. The other player is playing a 60-card Lightsworn deck with 3 copies of Rapier. So game 1, he Lullabies his opponent, named Speedroid Terratop. The guy has no copies of Speedroid Terratop, but he does have 3 copies of Rapier. He ends up losing that game. Game 2, he goes first. Lullaby Obedience is named Zodiac Rapier. The guy pushes his deck forward and says he sided them out. That one was also very good. YCS Atlanta had 2 huge highlights in terms of feature matches. That one was very far up there.
Oh, that's pretty smart.
I feel like both of those maybe not demonstrate the most mechanical skill, but they were awesome to witness.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's good. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be... The only side deck changes we'll see is the cards going first versus going second we were talking about before. Now that Ramos is going first, he's likely to bring in Imperial Iron Wall as well as Chain Disappearance. Yeah. Oh, actually, maybe not Chain Disappearance against this deck.
He hasn't really seen.
All he's seen is Zodiac Rapier, right? Well, no, he saw that Grasslook Screener milled a bunch of cards. So he saw it's a Lightsworn strategy. So he probably doesn't want Chain Disappearance here. I think you want it against the 60-card Infernoid version, right? Because also it's Decatron, but not here.
I'll buy that.
Yeah, other than that,
Kreese going to make? Do you think he's going to play more field clearing type traps? Like, is this where you'd want the Drowning Mirror Force?
Maybe. I actually don't know when you'd want to bring it. Maybe is it against Infernoid because they'll clear your field with a Nunku and then try to beat you? But I really no, because that makes no sense because a Nunku can negate the Drowning Mirror Force, right?
So
it has to be against Zodiac. I feel like all the Mirror Force effects are very powerful against Zodiac.
Well, they are, because in general, these cards have no built-in protection against anything.
Maybe Drowning Mirror Force is best against the Kaiju Zodiac deck, right? Because that deck has the OTK with Slumber plus Rapier. Like, they give you a Kaiju, they destroy it with Trident, and then they have a 3300 Kaiju, and that is the additional damage they need. And right there, Drowning Mirror Force is huge.
And we see Ramos starting up Tanky for Rapier, sending combo to the graveyard.
Looks like he drew 3 copies of Power Formation Tanky. Yeah, he has Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit to interact, along with the Twin Twisters, but I don't know if I would have gotten Twin Twisters or kept it in if I had it in my main deck.
The crazy thing is, the way Kreese's hand looks, it could be pretty useful. Though he's only going to be able to take out one of the 2 between Barrage and Brilliant Fusion.
Yeah. If Brilliant Fusion is sent to the graveyard, does the Seraphinite go to the graveyard?
I don't think it does. Actually, no, it might. It's the other way around. If the monster dies, it doesn't.
The Fusion doesn't go?
Yeah, if this card leaves the field, destroy the
so
monster, but not the other way
depending on
around.
sequencing, if he goes Brilliant Fusion, send stuff, he doesn't respond to the Brilliant Fusion, and then in response to Zodiac Barrage, he could Twin Twister both and remove the Seraphinite. That might come up, but I feel like that's the only way he's going to get real... like the extra Twin Twister value out of it.
That would involve having to just not do anything with the Seraphinite first, though.
Yeah, which is also another hoop to jump through.
All right, and it does look like he's going to...
drew Dimensional Barrier, so that... I don't know how often you want a Dimensional Barrier Brilliant Fusion. It's a super powerful effect, but at the same time, they're also playing cards like Rapier, so if Dimensional Barrier is the best way to answering that card. A little rough.
I feel like I would...
You also have Dryden, actually. Maybe you just use Dryden on the first one. This is a big reason why I'm actually a fan of Cosmic Cyclone over Twin Twisters. Because going first, Cosmic Cyclone is a better trap effect than Twin Twister because you're trading 1 for 1. But how you use Twin Twister usually against Zodiac is you don't actually Twin Twister their Barrage or Tanky. You wait for them to play out their whole turn, and then you Twin Twister their trap cards.
Yeah, on the end.
Yeah, so that you can make a push on your turn. But I kind of like the idea of being able to stop their spell so that, maybe they don't even have a field for you to need to worry about where their trap cards matter. But in this specific scenario, this is like a big reason why Cyclone would be better here. But it's just because Koreas doesn't have trap cards. So you can't use that alternate mode of Twin Twister.
He's got trap card, singular, and unfortunately it's one you'd rather have in the graveyard.
Yeah, the only one he plays, actually. And he managed to draw it, so nice.
Meanwhile, over on Ramos' hand, still got his 2 tankies, but he's got a much more respectable defensive lineup now between Ghost Ogre, My Body as a Shield, and Dimensional Barrier, with the Twin Twisters to block.
Oh, and Maxi?
Traps. Oh, and he just picked up Maxi?
Jeez, okay, yeah, now his hand's crazy. Oh, Flying C, 6 card.
That's a little bit too late.
Yep.
Just a bit.
Just a little.
It's going to be another one of those one-turn games I've been hearing all about.
It might be. I think that we're going to get a little bit more interaction this time, though. But yeah, I think it's going to end up in Ramos's favor. But yeah, Spiritual Swords are revealing like a card we saw a lot in the Infernoid version of this deck. Super good when you have it face up because it lets you protect your low attack Zodiac monsters and your Decatrons. And then when you mill it, you get that effect to banish it. But in this version of the deck, it's especially strong with Psyframe Lord Omega because this deck always summons Omega. So then you can start looping the swords of the Spiritual Swords of Revealing like back into your graveyard with Omega. So you basically make it so you can never die by battle unless they somehow interrupt that combo.
So Zodiac Barrage gets taken out by Ghost Ogre. Shiranui Solitaire is about to get taken out by Trident.
Yep. And that leaves...
Who's next?
Brilliant Fusion to get Twin Twistered, maybe?
There's Brilliant
I think
Fusion.
so. You have extra tanky, right? So
you just get Twin Twistered here.
Yeah.
Get some Twin Twister. Is okay, now what? Charge of the Light Brigade. That one's going to go through. He shows Keteborg, Drowning Mirror Force, Uni-Zombie. And there's not a whole lot left other than that Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light.
Yeah, you can't normal summon. It can maybe stave off just the damage between Spiritual Swords and Flying Sea, but...
Can he? I mean, I guess you would destroy this.
Oh, yeah, you're just going to Dryden into it, I guess? Well, it just depends what your sequence is.
Yeah, because he could at least survive another turn with the Banish It to block direct attacks effect.
Yeah,
it's not looking good, though.
No, he needs that Grasslook Screener. He needs to draw exactly that Grasslook Screener. Or Solar Recharge into that Grasslook Screener. Because he will have the Raiden in his hand.
Takes Raiden for Charge of Light Brigade. He is in pretty dire need of another turn.
Yeah. And all that happened, Ramos didn't even need to use Maxi.
That's brutal.
Yeah. And
he picks up
Raj. Yeah, that is a lot of damage.
Oh, boy.
Does he have it just with Whiptails? Like, if he just starts with... oh, no, because he can't get rid of the Spiritual Swords. But he assuming the Swords wasn't there, he just had game right here, right? Just with the Whiptail damage.
I don't think he's getting 8 attacks in somehow to drain all the life points out with Spiritual Swords of Revealing Light. Now, if you could do that, that would be even more impressive. Get that old Trident Dragion in here.
Ooh.
Everybody remembers Trident Dragion, right?
Yeah, I mean, that card was super powerful. I feel like, was it Dragoonity was the first strategy that really utilized it? Was there another one?
There was a Dragoonity Dragon Ruler deck.
Okay, yeah, and that one...
That included, I think, Trigon to make this... this was probably one of Billy's things. I remember him doing that at some point.
Yeah, no, I actually... that Trident Dragon wasn't in the Trigon Ruler Dragoonity deck. I don't think it was that. Or Trigon Ruler Dragon Ruler deck. But I think it was in an early version of when the Dragoonity Starter deck first came out. I think there was Trident Dragon in that deck. And then I think that later on one other deck might have used it. But it was definitely not in the...
Wasn't there one of the Dragon Ruler decks? There were so many of them.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was Dragulon, not Dragion.
Yeah, Dragulon. Yeah, after we got the... what were the Mystic Dragons? The Mythic Dragons?
Mythic Dragons.
Yeah, Mythic Dragons made it so you could make rank 8 super easy, and Dragulon was like a mirror breaker.
That's right.
Yeah.
A whole lot of dragon decks in that time. They all blend together after a few years.
Yeah, all very powerful. All did a lot of things very quickly and summoned large dragons that ended the game.
So as Ramos is trying to pull together the damage he needs to win, Flying Sea comes down on his side to block him out a bit.
Yeah.
Tries to go for 16. It is to your advantage to reduce that to 1,000 by paying to negate the attack.
Yep.
I do like that there's like a very clear choice. If the attack here is less than 1,000 and you're not going to draw a card for Masked Sorcerer or something weird like that, let it go. If it's more than that, pay it.
Pay 1,000 for attack. For attack? 7,000.
So 2 copies of Maxi with Torrential Tribute. And that's a monster. Is that Maxi?
On the field?
No, what was the draw for Kreese? I mean, it list says Flying Sea, but I think it might have been Maxi, actually. Oh, he manages to hit Wolf off of Raiden, but gets Maxi'd on the summon.
Just a little rough. I mean, he can clear some of this.
Yeah.
So he's 1,900, right?
Where's Exton 9 when you need him?
Gone. Far, far away.
I mean, it would just be answered by Dimensional Barrier, right? I'm pretty sure it's still set, so. Not the worst. And Raiden gained attack right by milling the Wolf. He's at 1,900. He gains 200 for each.
I believe
Lights
it's
one
200.
hits.
It is 200, and it's if any Lightsworn monster is sent.
Yeah, that barrage face up means that Flying Sea's not long for this world, though, because next turn he can just barrage it away.
Raiden attacks. Trident gets the Whiptail, and then Raiden is destroyed. That leaves Wolf.
That's interesting.
Yes, he left a non-tuner. Out Thoroughblade. Is there still a material under Emerald?
I thought there was.
It looks like there is.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you just used the effect 2 turns in a row. Is there
Yeah, I
something you
mean,
needed to
it's
keep
not
in
a
the
new
graveyard?
Emerald, right? So no, yeah, I doubt there is a material. Albeit it does look like there is one.
He just activates Maxi in response to the barrage. Flying Sea goes to Carice's graveyard since it is his card.
He's just going to get Whiptail, yeah, and then probably put it under the Trident to clear the
Clear Wolf?
Yeah.
I saw a quick peek of Carice's card. It was a trap. Oh, and it is Drowning Air Force.
He could be a little clever here and maybe try to attack with a Daigusto Emerald or attack with his Zodiac monster. Well, not the Daigusto Emerald. Specifically, he could move the Trident to attack mode, declare an attack, try to get Kreese to negate it. And then if he doesn't, then he just activates Whiptail or something. Like, you know, feigning that he has a Whiptail so that he's forced to negate and then just getting the extra 1,000 out of him. But looks like he's just going to take the conservative line.
Oh, and there's that crow.
Did he just draw that grass? Looks greener?
Did he? No,
Nope,
he drew
Instant Fusion.
Instant Fusion. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's
not that good against Maxi. Yeah, Elder
Maxi,
Entity
no.
Norden, not the best card against Maxi, that's for certain.
Nope.
If maybe he's going to try to mill a Manticore and search a Manticore. That is his way of winning here.
I mean, it was until DD Crow got sided in.
Yeah, but he doesn't know about the DD Crow.
He hits the wolf that was targeted by Norden.
That's interesting. I don't know if I like that.
I mean, now the Manticore would win the game if you got the combo set up, because that's the only one. Then again, both Maxis are out.
Yeah, so it's not happening.
Riddle me this. 2 Solemn Strikes. How do you deal with that with 0 cards?
That grass looks greener, gives you more monsters than they have Solemns. That's about it, though. But yeah, other than that, obviously, Kreese is just down and out, barring a crazy top deck.
Life is not good. We'll see if he can at least get some of these guys off the board with Drowning Mirror Force. Tiger Mortar activates. Puts Rat back underneath. Quickly checks to see, where are my rats?
Time is 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
Goes Broadwell. Special summons Rat.
Yeah. Can you read that one more time? I think it has a graveyard effect.
It does indeed have a graveyard effect. Spiritual Swords can be banished from the graveyard. Stop your opponent from attacking directly.
Yep. The real big reason why it's in this deck. Banishes combo. He's going to put back a Tiger Mortar, a Trident, a Whiptail, a Thoroughblade, and a Borbo.
Draw one, and it is like another barrage. Uses Broadwell's other effect to add. Takes a Whiptail. He summons Gagaga Samurai.
Yep. And just try to burn through that swords.
Wanted me to do 5 attacks in a turn. And he attacks directly with Whiptail.
Oh.
And it's Drowning Mirror Force. It hurts.
Real bad.
It doesn't hurt as bad as it would if you hadn't just drawn and searched a big pile of cards.
Yep, debated.
But it's rough.
This is also final call for regionals. If you're filling out a deck list, please make your way to the front right now, or else the event will begin.
Yeah,
So that at least leaves grass as a possible thing.
Is that what he drew?
Every
single time, he just
I
adds
think
cards
he
in deck.
did.
Oh my goodness.
Card 22, 42, so you're at 20.
This is the really not exciting part of this card.
Yeah. When you've depleted your opponent's resources and then suddenly they have a new hand. He has hit nothing but spells.
You got a wolf.
There's one wolf.
And a snow.
A Mizuki. Okay, now this is fine. Another
Two
wolf, okay.
wolves.
Another Mizuki.
Another Mizuki, another snow. Okay, well that could maybe get through a Solemn or two. And he was only able to set one due to all of his other cards.
Yeah. Well, he'll be able to chain link those wolves, so then he can only Solemn one, right? And then
both hit the field, and they'll probably explode.
Oh, he lets it through.
Oh, he's probably waiting for him to summon
do something
snow
bigger
or something. I don't know if he should, though.
Yeah, I don't. It's rough. It's definitely rough.
We're now under 10 minutes left in the round.
Is Torrential Tribute still set? Did he have Torrential Tribute? Was this the game that he had Torrential Tribute?
I think it was.
Yeah, so actually, I think it's still just anyone's game, basically. What's going to get him out of this is Fairy Tale Snow, right? Like, just being able to have a resource that keeps on coming back regardless of the destruction, regardless of the negation, as long as you can fuel it.
With 5 back rows, though, I think you got to get some damage in, right?
Yeah. You want to chip in at least a little first, but I think he's going to be special summoning first, and he's probably going to get caught by the Torrential Tribute before he goes to battle phase.
I'm just checking out and see how many snow summons there could possibly be. It's a lot, let me tell you.
Yeah. It looks like a good 3 or 4. Maybe even 5 if he's...
You can Foolish Burial to up 1 or to...
Oh, that reminds me, I don't know that we ever talked about this on stream, but so the Fairy Tale cards, obviously inspired by fairy tales.
Yeah.
So why does Snow cost 7 cards?
You told me earlier.
This is the 7 dwarves.
Yeah, that's
based on
super
Snow
cool. I
White.
did not know that. Does the other one have any flavor, spice to it?
So Ella, for example, based on Cinderella, she gets an equip card, but it only lasts till midnight, then it goes away.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Oh, he just makes attacks.
I think that's smart.
You know, that's super smart, because now he's just going to try to win with Snows. And Torrential Tribute, the Solemn Strikes, I don't think it'll be enough.
No, as long as you pay the cost.
One last
Chain link one.
Original is full. We're still taking signs for Winamax. Yu-Gi-Oh! Day and Structure Deck tournaments for another
7.
20 minutes. If you're interested in any of
I mean, he already took all the attacks, right? So he takes the first Snow. He waits for the second one.
He's taken, what, 55 so far? So he goes down to 21?
55. Well, was he at 7,600 before the attacks? Or is that?
Before the attacks.
So if he's taking 55, that puts him to 20. Oh, yep, you're right.
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, so I think I would let that one through, because now these Solemn Strikes are not looking too good.
Oh, he's only got 1 strike. He could only set 1 strike because he had 5 back row.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah, now the Snow will activate.
Please raise your hand and call for a judge.
And he plays that one too.
So we're talking about craziest games I've seen.
Yeah,
this one's up there.
That's one of them.
Yeah, this
and
is
he
definitely
does
up there. Yep.
Marcus Chris with That Grass Looks Greener really steals one right there. That game was practically unwinnable.
Yeah.
But he did it thanks to repeated activations of Fairy Tale Snow and very wisely choosing to go to battle phase and attack instead of try to combo off into 4 set cards.
Yeah. That definitely smart play, getting the damage while he can. His opponent's exhausted a bunch of resources, so even if these attacks go through, you know, main phase 2, you do some stuff. If they stop that, you still have a field, and you've still gotten enough damage where these Snows can probably finish off the duel.
That was very impressive. I am amazed that he won that, but it is the Ultimate Duelist Series Invitational, not the Ultimate Duelist Series Amateur Hour. So
you're right. Yeah, we will see. These duelists have fought hard to get here via the point system.
Especially the ones who came in with a bye. Like, it's 100 points just to get here. You have to double that just to start with 1 win. It's not even 2 like you would get for a VIP.
Yeah. I believe Marcus Crease also came here from Canada.
Oh,
so, yeah,
really?
Yeah, long trek.
We've had a couple of those. I think I've got one that says that they came in from China.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or from China living in Los Angeles
Yes,
now.
yes. I'm actually very familiar with them. They're a cool bunch. Yeah, Yuichi Zhu, he made the top cut of YCS Seattle with a 60-card deck just like this, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're cool guys.
Nice.
Yep.
So that was pretty impressive. What I would want to know, if I were you, I'm going to ask him is, can you believe you got away with that Mana Core of Darkness thing in Game 2? And then again with the Snows in Game 3?
Yeah, and then once he finds out about the DD Crow, it'll get even crazier. We'll make sure to ask him those questions after a quick break.
All
so
right.
make sure to stay tuned for that.
Attention duelists around the world. Thanks to cutting-edge Kaiba Corp technology, you can now duel on your smartphone. Ready? Check this out, everyone! Write the next chapter in dueling history. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Here I go. It's my turn. My turn!
It's my turn.
Play as your favorite character and win your duels. Not a single card can stand up to this. Build your strongest deck and summon your legendary monsters. I call on Blue Eyes White Dragon. White Lightning! Duels are now in the palm of your hand. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Make your move because it's time to duel.
And we are back with our round 6 feature match, Mayor Marcus Crease. So we may need to call security because you definitely stole that game. Yep. That was crazy. Just walk me through Game 2. You managed to get up with Mana Core of Darkness. Yeah.
So I tried to scoop Game 2 before he realized what I was playing. It didn't look like he really looked at my deck to see how many cards I was playing. So I figured it was an unwinnable game, figured to scoop as fast as I can. Maybe he wouldn't side in Crows if he did. He clearly sided deck Crows and just didn't put them in for game 2 or didn't realize Crow would stop the loop. So that worked out, and then game 3 he opened really well again. I played into my outs and kind of sealed off the W.
Yeah, it was definitely ridiculous. We expected him to side. We expected him to side in Crow, knowing you had 60 cards, but mentioning that he maybe wasn't like counting your deck or something. Yeah. He didn't have it, but yeah, that game 3 was insane. Yeah. He had every answer for what you did, and that spiritual sword just held on, skin of your teeth.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. When I'd milled the Drowning Mirror Force, I kind of tried to make sure he saw it so that maybe he wouldn't attack directly with all his monsters, kind of slow him down. Clearly, it didn't stop him at all. He kept going, and then I actually drew the Drowning, so that kind of all worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it definitely felt like it was a little baited. It was crazy. Yeah, no, yeah, and that grass looks great. How excited were you as soon as you saw it?
Well, I said this is the only card I have left in my deck to draw. I had milled one of them, and I couldn't draw a left arm offering, so I had maybe 2 out of 48 cards to draw. But when it's your day, so we'll see.
I mean, if there's anywhere to get lucky, it's in Vegas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. All right. Well, best of luck in the rest of the tournament. We'll be back with more feature matches, so make sure to stay tuned.
Today I want to talk about a combo that you're probably going to see a lot of over the next few months, especially if you tune into our tournament coverage either here or on Twitch TV/official Yu-Gi-Oh channel. This combo involves the Zodiac Xyz monsters from Raging Tempest. We got Borbo, Tiger Mortar, Broad Bull, and Drydet. And while the actual result of this combo is pretty simple, it actually has a lot of steps, and you might have seen it done with a few shortcuts. Might be a little unclear on exactly what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you step by step. What exactly is happening when you see the Zodiac combo on screen. So the thing with the Zodiac Xyz monsters is that they can all be Xyz summoned using only one other Zodiac monster as the material. And unlike other cards like number S39, Utopia the Lightning, or Downward Magician, that one monster can be just any Zodiac monster. It doesn't have to be an Xyz monster. So the monster they use is Zodiac Rapier. Each of the basic Zodiacs adds an effect onto a Beast Warrior type Xyz monster that uses it as its material. In this case, Rapier's is once per turn. You can detach an Xyz material from this card, summon another Rapier from your hand or deck. So you start by summoning Zodiac Rapier. You can either normal summon it from your hand, or special summon it from your deck with something like Zodiac Barrage, or MX Saber Invoker, which normally winds up on the field courtesy of Terror Top and Tekedenborg. Once you have your Rapier on the field, you start off by Xyz summoning Zodiac Borbo. Borbo is kind of the starter and the finisher for a pure Zodiac deck. You can start off this combo by using it like this, or you could finish a duel by using its effect to attack directly. And then if it has 12 materials, you do a bunch of other cool stuff. But for our purposes, the important thing is that it has gained this effect. The once per turn you can detach to summon a Rapier. So we'll do that now. There we go. Now the Rapier. Next, we're going to use Borbo as the material to Xyz summon Tiger Mortar. Tiger Mortar's effect lets her detach one of her own materials to target a Zodiac in your graveyard and an Xyz monster on your field, and attach the graveyard card to the Xyz monster on the field as material. There we go. So now she's got Rapier, and the ability, once per turn, you can detach one Xyz material, summon another Rapier. Now the question you might have right now is, hang on, that affects once per turn. So why can you use it again here? That's because it's just once per turn : It doesn't have you can only use this ability once per turn. And as a result, each time it's placed on a new card, that restriction's reset. It's considered the ability of a totally new card that hasn't been used yet, so we can detach this Rapier now and summon the third one from the deck. There we go. Next, we'll go ahead and use Tiger Mortar as the material to summon Zodiac Broadbull. Broadbull lets you detach a material to add a Beast Warrior type monster that can be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand. And the one that we're going to get here is Zodiac Whiptail. There's a lot of other choices, tons of them really. There's other Zodiacs, there's Fire Fist monsters, there's even Beast King Barbaros if you want it. But for our purposes, the most common card you're going to see is Zodiac Whiptail, because this card can attach itself to a Beast Warrior type Xyz monster during either player's turn at any time, except during the damage step, and it gives the monster it's attached to the ability to banish any monster that it battles. So this is going to go to hand, and then finally we're going to use Zodiac Broadbolt as a material for Zodiac Trident, which also has a quick effect that lets you destroy any face-up card on the field. So, with this, you could detach the Broadbolt, destroy something, and then just put Whiptail right on so that you can do it again during your opponent's turn. Or you could save the Broadbolt, use it to disrupt your opponent during their turn, and then if they try to do anything, like attack Trident, you can just attach Whiptail to make sure that you take out their monster as well. But that's ignoring that you still have these 2 Zodiac Rat Pierce on the field that you can use to make pretty much whatever rank 4 you'd like. You could get a Beast Warrior specific card, like Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. You could get a defensive card, like Traptrix Ecclesia, which is pretty popular with cards like Treacherous Trap Hole, or Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, or even Floodgate Trap Hole. Or you could get a card like Cane Gorgon, Anti-Luminescent Knight, that can deflect targeting abilities. For example, if your opponent tries to do this back to you with their own Zodiac Trident, you can just redirect their effect to blow up their own monster. Or you could get Daigusto Emerald. Daigusto Emerald can help shuffle these combo pieces back into your deck and let you draw more cards. So if your opponent has something like Regeki or Darkhole to blast all this stuff off the field, you'll have a chance to try the combo again later on. Or, if you're going second, for example, and you need to take out a tough monster, you could even use number 39 Utopia with Utopia the Light. There's a ton of different setups that you can make with just this one card. All you need is Zodiac Rapier or something that can summon it from your deck, and you can do all this and still have the rest of your hand to work with to fulfill your original strategy or to protect yourself with traps or basically anything. And that is how the Zodiac combo works and why it's so powerful. So keep a lookout for it. Next time you see it during a tournament coverage, you'll know exactly how it works and exactly what's going on. And I'll see you next time.
Remaining.
Hello and welcome back to the final round of Swiss here at YCS Atlanta. We have dueled for 10 rounds. This is now the 11th, and after this we will cut to a top 32, which will be single elimination. This round we have a pretty exciting one. We pulled a Zodiac Shaddoll duelist out, and he just so happens to be facing against the one and the only Jeff Jones, running a similar Zodiac list to what he played at Seattle, but he has also included the Luna Light Black Sheep and Fusion Substitute engine. So
yes, both players actually are using Luna Light Black Sheep.
Yes. Well, one is trying to fuse much more than the other.
Yeah.
But yes, that is definitely true.
So that seems to have been a breakout card this weekend. I never saw it incorporated into a non-Luna Light strategy prior to this weekend.
Yeah.
But now I'm seeing it all over the place. So that's one big highlight from the weekend.
All right. Looks like the duels are just about ready at the table, so let's get right down to it. It's time to duel. So even though Fontis is running Luna Light Black Sheep, he does not have Fusion Substitute in his deck. So he can't do the combo that we know or we've seen a lot of so far. That involves, you know, Fusion Substituting, Fusion summoning Norden onto the field, and then using Fusion Substitute for an extra draw card. He's using it just to find polymerization so he can actually Fusion summon Shaddoll monsters. The big reason to be playing Shaddolls right now is that Shaddoll Fusion is one of the most powerful cards you can have going second. We've seen that happen when Shaddolls were considered one of the best decks, if not the best deck. We even saw it in the side decks of Necros decks for a while, and it's still here.
The side deck can go off the map. So I'll just put the side deck in the deck box. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a search also. Yeah.
So it looks like Jones opened with Speedroid Terra top, but he unfortunately drew the Taketon board.
Yeah, search poly, no problem.
Kind of rough.
Yeah. Not too bad, though. The Fusion Substitute will get to make up for at least the 1-card deficit, which is pretty cool.
Attention duelists, you signed up for win event number 4. Please come up to the banner to the left of the public event stage. You signed up for win event number 4. Please come up to the banner to the left of the public event stage. Thank you.
There's Daigusto Emerald. Can activate its effect. Shuffling back those rapiers, and looks like Broad Bull. Draws a card up. Daigusto Emerald, finds Solemn Strike. What you're really digging for here, though, is Dimensional Barrier. If you can find Dimensional Barrier, that means the Shaddoll Fusion is much weaker. It's one of the few cards that can actually just straight up answer it. Uses Fusion Substitute to Fusion Summon Norden the hard way. Then Xyz summon Broad Bull the hard way. And continues a Rapier combo.
No shortcuts for Jeff Jones.
Nope. Not here. So this is the 5th Zodiac Rapier he has special summon from his deck this turn.
So now he banishes Fusion Substitute from his graveyard, sends Norden back to his extra deck, and draws a card.
It looks like he drew Zodiac combo.
He had the Zodiac combo.
Sorry, he drew Zodiac Barrage, so he can make use of Zodiac combo. Go away and either barrage away his own barrage or Invoker. I like barraging the Invoker a bit more. Thoroughblade represents the same amount of attack points, and barrage effectively does what Invoker would do the following turn a little bit better.
Now he can cycle his Zodiac combo.
Yeah.
Send it to the graveyard to draw 1 card.
And it looks like he found a Dimensional Barrier, along with still has Max C and Solemn Strike. This is a big reason why the Fusion Substitute Lunalight Black Sheep engine is so popular right now. Is that those extra draws trying to dig for stoppers, quite a big deal. Finds, looks like another copy of Zodiac Barrage. That's 2 cards and passes.
This is going to be a blowout for Fontis. Dimensional Barrier will stop his Shadow Fusion. Back C could be used against special
rough. And then he's just stuck with some Shaddolls in his hand.
Yeah.
Through Polymerization, so 2 fusion spells. What he needs to try to do is see if he can Zodiac Barrage and then bait a Dimensional Barrier or something, so that then he can Shaddol Fusion. But what's going to happen is he's going to Zodiac Barrage and then probably get answered by Maxi, and then Jones just might let him go through, knowing that you can special summon as many times as you want. I'm just going to get a card every time, so as long as I disrupt you where it matters, you can give me as many free cards as you like.
Fontis uses Barrage, activates the effect. Jones chains Max C.
Yep.
And Fontis will special summon a monster from his deck and let Jones draw a card.
Does he even have another Zodiac in his hand? He's considering getting Thoroughblade.
He doesn't.
He's trying to force an attack on Drident.
He doesn't have a Zodiac in his hand. He probably just doesn't want to keep pushing through Max C.
Yeah, that makes sense. So but the one thing is he can get a Rapier, and then like by getting the Rapier, that means any Zodiac he draws can go into Tiger Mortar. But I guess it just doesn't threaten well. Like he would have to press a lot. He would have to like Broad Bull for a Whiptail, and then do that to have any amount of attack points to get over the Drident or threaten Drident.
Fontis is contemplating upgrading into Trident because then he'll be able to take down one of Jones's monsters.
I like that. A concession.
Interesting.
Yep. does not want to reveal that he plays the Shadal engine. Would rather just give up the game, go to the next game. That's interesting because he didn't see Dimensional Barrier or anything like that.
I was just going to say, it seems a little early to concede, not even knowing what Jones's back rows were.
I mean,
he doesn't know that Jones has Dimensional Barrier. We know because we can see his cards.
Yeah, but I guess like as long as one of those back rows is something relevant, right? The amount of draws you give him off Maxi and the fact that he has a big board is pretty much enough.
But as long as is already an assumption that he probably shouldn't have made.
I don't know about that one, but
worth a shot. We've discussed this before.
I value information a lot more than you do.
You concede a lot more quickly than I do.
Yeah.
I don't mind showing my opponent cards if there's any path to victory.
Yeah.
And I don't see how Fontes can possibly have ruled out every possible path to victory in that.
No, he just took
duel.
He saw a different path that involved sneaking wins without his opponent knowing what's going on in another game. He's conceding the battle to win the war, my friend, all right? we don't fight battles that we know we're going to lose to give our opponent information for them to win the war.
Winning this battle might have helped him win the war.
You're right. However, he would have lost, so I still think it was a good call, but it was definitely interesting that he did it that early.
You're right,
I did not expect that.
You don't know he would have lost.
So what odds do you give him when his opponent has Dimensional Barrier, under Maxi, and all that?
He doesn't know his opponent has Dimensional Barrier.
But
That's the thing.
I'm saying that if he would have played Shadal Fusion, right, do you think he would have lost? This game, do you think he would have lost?
Yes, I do, but I saw Jeff Jones's cards, as did you.
Yes.
He didn't.
Yes. I'm saying that his decision, based on all of perfect information, was ultimately correct. However, how he got to make that decision might not have been the best path. So it's fine. Let's look at some side decks. How about that?
Well, let's do that.
Yeah. Fontes has Gamma Seals, Raigeki, Twin Twister, Cosmic Cyclone, Solemn Strike, Stormy Mirror Force, Imperial Iron Wall, Artifact Lancey, and Torrential Tribute. So since he's going first, I assume he's just going to put in a couple trap cards. That seems fair. Probably throw in like Raigeki, because that's a solid card. Maybe Storming Mirror Force.
Hey, Raigeki's a pretty good card.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that I didn't main deck it. So if he chooses not to main deck it, then maybe he doesn't want it actually going first. Because like the Shadal Fusion cards are, he might just think the Shadal Fusion is better going second. From Jones's end, he has a Kaiju engine, pretty standard there. Lancias, My Body's a Shield. Soul Release, we haven't seen that one yet. And
since Rebecca used it in Duelist Kingdom. Rather, Yugi was going to use it against Rebecca in Duelist Kingdom.
Anyways, we haven't seen it this weekend, and that's interesting. It's probably for Infernoid, I assume, the same way it's been used in the past, just as a huge graveyard hate card. So that's pretty cool. I assume he's just going to bring in My Body, though, thinking it's a mirror match. So we'll see. And probably Kaiju Slumber because he's going second. And the Kaijus. Yeah, it looks like he drew a Kaiju.
Fontes 10 keys for Rat Pier, summons it, sends combo to the graveyard. Upgrades into Borbo, upgrades into Tiger Mortar, detach Nixie's material, special summon another Rat Pier.
Yep, so quite a few short tucks we're taking, shortcuts we're taking there, but this is what it will end up being. That was that was a little bit much, but it's okay.
They both know what the field is supposed to look like, so I guess they're just constructing it in the fastest way possible. Little odd, but okay.
Ujinte Kagetsuchi.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that can turn on the effects of Shaddolls, can it?
Yes.
Sent to the graveyard by a card effect.
Oh, he hit Shadal Core and Shadal Fusion. And
Squamata.
Jeez. That's interesting. He could have ordered it where... Oh, no, he couldn't have ordered it like that. Never mind. I was going to say he could have sent, like, L Shuttle Fusion down and then gotten that back with Core, but because Core needs to target when it's activated, that does not work.
Yeah, it was a good match.
One really good thing about Bujinte Kagetsuchi after you end with the Zodiac combo is that if your opponent Kaiju slumbers you, you can use your own Trident to destroy itself, and then Slumber will not destroy anything because Kagetsuchi just detaches material to not be destroyed, and then nothing comes out from Slumber. So
that's cool.
Fontis is in an interesting position where he might not want to press forward, but it looks like he's going to anyway. He has Maxi in his hand, so that's pretty good. He's going to make a Winda and get back a Falco and draw a card.
Well, now one special summon per turn, right? Now that he has Winda.
Yes. Why do you... I don't know if it's better to use Shaddoll Fusion or Polymerization there. Upside of using Shaddoll Fusion is that you get in the graveyard for when Winda goes to the graveyard. Upside of using Polymerization is that you still have Shaddoll Fusion in your hand if your opponent has managed to like get through your board while dealing with Winda in a way that doesn't, activate its effect, and then you still have Shaddoll Fusion to get back into it.
Yeah.
Starts with a Kaiju.
Humongous, the sticky string Kaiju, tributes away the Winda.
Yeah, Shaddoll Fusion comes back. The only way to make that not happen is probably Whiptail.
Jones special summons Terror Top,
No effect.
but again has Teketenborg in his hand.
And he's just going to concede. We are done.
Jones did not have a lot going on in that game.
No, I mean,
His
under
opening,
Maxi and, like, your opponent has a big board. He also still has a Shaddoll Falco set. Falco can get back Winda or Beast and just do a lot of things.
These have been the two fastest games all weekend.
Definitely quick ones.
So you have 27 minutes if my math is right. That's better than all the matches I've played this weekend. Like every match is almost.
Actually, they've been pretty good except for the two
draws. Yeah. I'll take that back. The two, me too. Yeah, I drew against Paleo.
Both of these players have a 7-1-2 record and are lamenting their draws.
Yeah, 7-1-2. Even at an 8-1-2, probably not the best. That is 26 points, right?
Yeah, 26
points. So that's better than 8-2-1 at 25 points, but not as good as 9-2.
Right.
So they are below every single X2, but above every single X2-1. So if any X2-1s would make it, then they're in. However, it is likely that some X2s might not even make it, but we'll have to see what happens.
Right, we won't know until the final top 32 is announced.
Yes.
So,
but regardless, staying in this spot actually sometimes isn't the worst because it's a little bit more relaxed, I feel like, because you don't really know if you're in contention. It's not as, it doesn't feel like a hard bubble match because sometimes you sort of count yourself out, and in a way that helps. I feel like in my situations it's helped because I feel like I had to deal with nerves a lot when I first started playing.
I bet the lights and the cameras take away from that relaxed atmosphere a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're having fun though, so.
Yeah.
But that's probably true.
They might be two players who always have fun playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
I think that's most players. You think Jones knew that Fontis was using a Shadow deck before he used the started using Shadow cards?
So, if they had been X1-2 prior to last round, so they had two draws for a while, I would say yes. Because you end up sitting next to people with a similar record, and that record's so unique that I think you definitely see it happen at least a couple times. Like, you're going to sit next to each other once or twice, check out what the other guy's playing just because, in between side decking or just like, in your game you look over. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think that Jones had the cold read, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah. That or just knew. Jones seems well connected in the community, so people talk about interesting decks.
Oh, maybe. I mean, yeah,
like
if they know each other, or
know.
Fontis happens to know him, yeah.
Fontis' deck is definitely one of the most interesting ones at the top tables.
Yep.
It's been a while since I've seen Shadows in competitive tournaments, especially in a purer form like the one Fontis is using. We've seen a lot of old decks come back with Zodiacs enhancing them.
Yeah. I mean, the Zodiac engine is super powerful. I think this is less so Shadal's coming back, though, as Shadal Fusion is so well positioned.
Right.
And the Zodiac engine is so small that you can sort of like build around it. That's why we see so many different variants, like the Kaiju version, the Pure version, the Artifact version, we saw Paleozoic Zodiac. We've seen Zodiac in every shape and form, right? And this is just another one of those trying to take advantage of one way that the format operates. Didn't draw Tiki-Tom Borg, so that's a good start for Jones.
Yep.
Has Barrage, Chalice, and Quaking Mirror Force, along with Rat Pierre already, so see. He gets extra draws, though, so if he draws a Zodiac card he doesn't want, that Barrage can still be activated for a Thoroughblade or something towards the end of the combo, so we'll see.
Black Sheep is back.
Yep, finds Fusion Substitute.
The Black Sheep just doesn't fit in the Luna Light deck, so I guess it decides to join all the other decks.
Yep, I think that Beast Warriors are in right now, thanks to Zodiac Broad Bull.
That's true. We've seen a lot of interesting Beast Warriors. I think the most interesting player brought to my attention in the last round, Arcus.
Yep, that's a good one.
Monster.
You can search it, ditch it for solar recharge. Pretty good deal.
Yeah, so Zodiac Lightsworn playing Arcus could do some pretty cool things.
Yep.
Fusion Substitute. Jones special summons Norden. The hard way.
The hard way. And exceeds Broadwool. The hard way.
He's summoning a monster with 2 monsters?
With 2 materials?
2 materials?
Blasphemy.
That's insane. I don't know why he would do this to himself.
Yep. I mean, some people just like that, you know, self-deprecative.
Norden goes back to the extra deck, and Jones draws a card thanks to Fusion Substitute.
And Regaki, not quite what he's looking for, but not a bad one. Also found my buy as a shield amid some of those draws, so also not the worst. Gets another draw here.
Every time I see the Lunalight Black Sheep tech and how it draws cards, I like it a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's great when you don't have a stopper. I'm still contemplating whether or not searching that Whiptail is more important or not, but I don't think it's bad, that's for sure. I like that you can draw either piece, and it's not bad. You draw the Black Sheep, you just get to search Whiptail, and then you Black Sheep for the Fusion Substitute. If you draw Fusion Substitute, you search for Whiptail and just Fusion Substitute, and then, yeah, you have a Black Sheep in your deck, but it's 1 card in your deck, so you're not likely to draw it. Just like another Tiki-Tom Borg, but only after you've comboed off, so solid. 5 back row.
Wind Twisters, Quaking Mirror Force, My Body as a Shield, Forbidding Chalice, and did he set Raigeki? Yeah, and he set Raigeki.
Yeah, I said Raigeki or Zodiac Barrage. Right?
I
He
don't
has
think
6 total.
I don't think he had a barrage.
I didn't have a barrage? No,
No.
maybe I did not see his hand correctly then when he was drawing cards.
Fontis, on the other hand, has Shadow Fusion and Zodiac Barrage, plus Shadow Beast, Dragon, Squamata, and Dimensional Barrier.
Nice. Well, Totenberg can stop the Shadow Fusion, and Dragon can stop whatever else he tries to do. So,
yeah, so
he's going to try to threaten the Dragon right now with Shadow Dragon, which is probably just going to get Quaking Mirror Forced, I would assume. I would think that Jones just wants to like snowball this lead into a win the following turn, so, or try his best to do so. He can't really use Zodiac Dragon against it because he'll get to destroy a card if he does, so I think Quaking Mirror Force is just a much better deal.
Right. So he threatens the Totem Bird, and Quaking Mirror Force puts it face down.
Yeah, unfortunately, it also has a flip effect, so.
It does.
Yeah, gets to return a card your opponent controls to the hand, so. This is a good time to Dryden. Pontisar used his normal summon. We are back, round 7 of the Ultimate Duelist Series Winter Invitational here in Las Vegas. We have a cool one this time around. Alan Daniel Santa Cruz Guzman playing Zodiac. Nothing too crazy. We'll get into any specifics about his deck list in a little bit. We also have Dimitri Algart Pronis. Proponis.
Yeah.
And he is playing basically just a stun strategy, right?
But with one card that is by far my favorite card in his deck. Maybe my favorite card used in any deck. He uses one copy of the Seal of Orichalcos.
I'm glad you're so excited.
So this duel is going to get crazy.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so we've seen this deck before. It uses cards like Barrier Statues, Fossil Dyna, Pachycephalo, plus ways to protect them, back them up. And in addition to that, it actually has some of the most drawing card selection out of many decks because it plays 3 copies of Pot of Duality, 3 copies of Pot of Desires, and 3 copies of Card of Demise. So it's able to gas back up even when it has to, use a couple resources to make sure things don't get too far out of hand.
It's interesting because he uses a 40-card deck, but he's also not really vulnerable to that Grasslook screener because even if his opponent sends 20 cards to the graveyard with it, if he can't special summon monsters, it doesn't matter.
Yep, definitely true. Yep, and it looks like our duels are just about ready to the table, so we will not keep you waiting. Let's get to it.
So for those who are not familiar with the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, the Seal of Orichalcos was one of the most powerful cards ever used by any duelist. And in one of the seasons, all of the villains possessed it. And it had an incredible effect that strengthened all of its owner's monsters, but it was also an evil card that sealed the soul of the duelist who lost the duel while it was on the field.
Yeah, it's super powerful in the show. Maybe a little less powerful here.
Little less.
But it still does a lot of things, especially in a strategy that's not trying to special summon from the extra deck.
It's very similar, actually, to the effect of the card on the show, but it does not lock away the soul of the loser.
Unfortunate. That was my favorite part. So,
but it's a very cool card, one that duelists waited forever to get released, and then it finally did get released, and it saw a little bit of play, but not that much in competitive tournaments.
This is really only the home it's found, is these stun strategies.
Yes, because 500 attack points is a decent amount, plus it has its own inherent protection. So the duel's underway.
Yep, start with Barrier Statue of the Abyss. And a Speedroar Terratop came down to try to threaten the Barrier Statue, but lost out to Solemn Strike.
So Santa Cruz has My Body as a Shield, Raigeki, Twin Twister, Zodiac Barrage, and Dimensional Barrier in hand. He gets rid of the Dimensional Barrier to try to target 2 cards for destruction, and ends up losing out to Dark Bribe.
Yeah, Dark Bribe actually trades even against Twin Twister, which is cool. Normally we see Dark Bribe being a, giving your opponent a card, you losing a card, but for Twin Twister, not the case.
That's true. He draws
Lunalight Black Sheep. What's the stats on Black Sheep? Is it able to threaten anything?
Just wondering that. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it's small.
It is a Black Sheep, so 100, 600. 100 attack, 600 defense, so it doesn't do much. So he discards it to thin his deck and get Fusion Substitute. He's a ways off from activating that card.
Yep, but he does have Raigeki, actually, so...
He does, so unless Algart Paponis. He said we can call him Dimitri.
I don't think Algart Paponis is that hard, but yeah, Dimitri. Unless Dimitri has... You were saying?
Unless he has a way to protect his statue, this probably is going to be quite good for Santa Cruz.
Oh, Card of Demise, a big one here. Draw 3 cards, gas back up.
Wow, he got 3 traps.
Yep.
Well, 2 traps and a Forbidden Lance that essentially functions as a trap.
Yep.
Looks like he picked up... Which Mirror Force is that?
Looks like Storming.
Okay, so Storming Mirror Force, Forbidden Lance, and Phantom Knight. One of the Phantom Knight cards. Can't see it yet.
I just decided last minute, I want to play. That's good.
Yeah, he's just going to tap those up just so he can erase them right after he sets them.
Yeah. Yeah, Phantom Knight's sword. So all of them get set.
Yes, he is at 7,000 minus 6,500.
Barrier attacks directly, and Santa Cruz drops to 7,000.
Yeah, well, the barrier had to actually attack before the card demise. Card demise prevents you from dealing damage after you activate it.
Right,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah, I actually saw someone lose a top 32 cut match by going for some extra spice, activating card demise, and then not being able to deal the damage he needed to win the duel in time.
So now Santa Cruz uses Raigeki, but the
Probably going to lose that to
sword
Dark
is,
Bribe.
or the sword
actually
can protect it now
no,
that
the sword
it's
is
face
much
down.
better. Sword does not give your opponent an extra card, right?
Right. It just protects it and has an effect in the graveyard. But he doesn't use any others anyway.
No, looks like he's
Lance
chosen to use
protects it
Forbidden
too.
Lance.
That's dangerous, though. Well, it's not dangerous because he has a Mirror Force to protect it. So even though it's 200 attack points, doesn't matter. So, Thoroughblade summoned. Thoroughblade attacks.
On attack declaration, all activate storing Air Force.
Thoroughblade returns to the hand. Next time Thoroughblade tries to attack it, it'll have 1,000 attack plus the 800 from the Phantom Knight's sword. So that barrier statue is not going anywhere. So this is what Dimitri's deck does.
Damage step, I'm going to use sword targeting a basic, gains 800.
Yep. So he's going to choose to use the sword here to increase his clock by a couple turns.
Interesting.
Because dealing 2,000 damage here means he can likely end the duel in 3 turns if he finds a monster.
1,800, right?
It's not 800 plus. Oh, because it's 1,000 based on the statues?
I think they're base 1,000.
Mm. I got Whiptail on the mind.
Yeah.
But yes, they are 1,000 thousands, all of them. So. But regardless, he could probably finish off the duel in much fewer turns now because it practically doubles the amount of damage he's doing.
Yeah, and Santa Cruz really can't do anything.
Which is how we see...
And he passes his turn.
Yeah, which is how most people lose to this deck. Yeah, Pot of Desires. It's just, as soon as you stick a stun monster like Fossil Giant Pachycephalo or a statue and you're able to protect it, and then you just keep on getting extra cards thanks to all these pot effects and...
another stone, another statue,
and a fossil Dyna.
And a fossil Dyna. So
I think you commit the statue here just because the Dyna could be more useful later.
Maybe the Dyna has more attack. Let's see, the life points are 6,500.
It shouldn't matter though because it's 28 plus 28 is 56, so that's still a 2-turn clock. Right? If you normal summon the barrier statue.
Through return clock, right? Either way. This turn plus 2 more.
No, well, why is there a reason he didn't normal summon the bear statue?
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong life points. 3,400. You're right.
Well, no. It looks like he just attacked. No. Because he just attacked and passed. He didn't normal summon. He's playing around Torrential Tribute. He had 5,200 before the battle phase.
Oh, he had 5,200.
Yeah.
Okay,
so with the normal summon would have been 28 a crack and then 28 crack.
You're right. Yeah. I was looking at the wrong life points. But you think he's just playing around Torrential?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I don't know if he really needs to because he has the sword. His Dark Bribe and the sword to protect it.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to either, but looks like this is the line he's chosen.
I guess it doesn't really matter, though, because Santa Cruz has virtually nothing. And just one card at a time, he's just going to lose to that barrier.
It looks like he found another sword.
Wow. So now he can protect everything. So now he summons the statue. I guess he changed his mind. He's not afraid of Torrential anymore. Or Mirror Force. Santa Cruz drops to 1,800 life points.
Yep, so that's just a sword plus a statue away from defeat.
Yeah. So
swords wielding statues, pretty scary. Statues wielding swords more so. That'd be really scary actually if the sword was wielding a statue, but
Guzman draws Ghost Ogre, which actually isn't that bad because it has 1,800 defense points.
Right, so he'll have to double sword a statue.
But that's exactly what he'll do. So. Yeah. That might buy him another turn, but again, one card at a time. Santa Cruz has pretty much lost this. Yep. I would really like to see him draw the Seal of Orichalcos to give the extra 500 attack points that will beat that monster.
Yep, he could normal summon Fossil Tiny though, and just try to push for game that way.
He could do that. It's getting a little scary.
And what's unfortunate here is he's likely to attack with the barrier statue that doesn't have the sword on it because he'll try to game with the sword.
That's true. He probably will. No.
Oh, no, that's a good hit,
He attacks with the right one.
Yep, so second sword.
Wing targeting Abyss.
Oh, wing instead.
That's fine.
Oh,
Plus
no, this is better, right? Because now he can use the other sword on the statue for game still. Because wing only gives 500. Yep.
Oh. Damage step. Here comes the 8. The extra 800 will end it.
And boom. That's it.
That's how this deck plays. Summon a barrier statue, and then if your opponent can't do anything, you basically just win one card at a time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen how powerful cards like Skill Drain, lose one turn, Vanity's Emptiness, Vanity's Fiend, throw it all the way back to even Royal Oppression, things that stop your opponent from special summon can just completely take over a game. And that's what this deck does, but it has these effects with monsters. Yeah. And then you just, rather than having a spell or trap that's vulnerable to maybe Twin Twister or Cosmic Cyclone, Mystical Space Typhoon, those type of effects, you use your monsters because any destruction your opponent has, you have ways to combat it with, you know, your Phantom Knight traps and Forbidden Protection cards. So pretty powerful.
Yeah. The only problem with this deck is sometimes it struggles against high attack monsters of low levels. The 800 boosts with the swords, with the Phantom Knight's sword, or even 500 with wings helps. But if your opponent draws a bunch of 1600 attack Thoroughblades,
or they just tank you for Thoroughblades, just having access to that. Yeah, and the number of times I've sat behind a Debris Dragon while my opponent has a Fossil Diner or something like that.
That's true too.
Far too many. So.
Even getting over Ghost Over's 1800 could have been problematic.
Yes, that is true.
Had he not drawn all of those attack boosting cards.
Yeah, luckily the Phantom Knight cards are very good at doing exactly what this deck wants to do. It not only gives them more attacks so they can get over those like thresholds, but it also protects the monsters.
Yeah, this deck has existed in concept for a very long time.
Yes, it's constantly evolving. Essentially, it's listed as barrier statues, I think, on our thing, but it's effectively just stun. Like this is just the newest iteration of the stun strategy.
Right, and yeah, it is constantly evolving, and we can see that with, the Phantom Knight trap cards, which they're not the newest cards, but they are a new level for this deck. And more recently, all the new iterations of Mirror Force, which have been making the cut into these decks.
Yes, Mirror Force, very powerful. Yeah. Mirror Force has really helped all the newer Mirror Forces have really helped the trap-based strategies. Not because, this is just a good trap. More so, it's a trap that you can draw going second, that lets you retake the field so that you can use your monsters again. Because the biggest problem that a lot of these trap decks have, especially the ones that rely on barrier statues, Fossil Dynamic Pachycephalo, and monsters like that, is that once your opponent establishes a field, it's really hard to break because you're not doing anything very powerful proactively. You're just playing cards that stop them from doing things. But if they've already done all their things, there's nothing for you to stop.
Yeah, it's a fantastic reactive card, and one of the coolest things about having so many options of Mirror Forces to play is you can specifically choose an effect, choose a Mirror Force for your deck that best combats what's popular in the metagame, which is basically all this deck does. It just uses cards that are good against the cards that other players are using.
Not only can you choose a Mirror Force that combats what's popular in the metagame, you can also choose a Mirror Force that combats what your deck is weak against.
That's true too.
Yeah, so like in that way, all the different flavors of Mirror Force have helped out every strategy across the board.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that people still play the original Mirror Force.
Yeah,
too,
Mirror Force is still very powerful.
It's not purely outclassed, but I do note that Dimitri does not run the original Mirror Force.
Yeah.
Does it run it in his side deck? No.
It doesn't look like it.
It's nowhere. He uses Storming and Quaking.
Yep. In his side deck, he has 6 more barrier statues, actually. That's crazy. Along with 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, Book of Moon, Maxis, and Magic Deflector. So that's a cool one. On the other side, we got Danko Sekka, though, which is probably the strongest card against the barrier strategy or the stun strategies because they set 5 backer along with a barrier monster. You summon a Danko Sekka, all of a sudden...
6 cards all do nothing. Danko Sekka destroys the barrier in battle, and then the 5 back roads can't be flipped.
Yeah, there's usually a few answers, things like Raigeki or... Solemn Warning. You know, you either stop it when it first comes out with Solemn Warning, or you have to hope to draw removal for it.
Yeah, this is tough for Dimitri. I wonder if he thought, well, Paleozoic Frogs won the last YCS. A lot of cards good against that are good against me. It's kind of scary to use this deck.
Yeah, well, we actually mentioned earlier, I don't know if viewers at home heard, that he was judging. He was planning to judge this event up until the last minute, and he decided to cash in all those judge points, or UDS points more so, that he got from judging. And here he is.
All right.
Yeah.
Standing
Impressive
strong.
record with a pretty cool deck.
Standing strong. 4-2 with the seal of Orichalcos.
Yep. Records in this tournament matter a little bit less than we've seen in the past, just because there's an extended switch portion. A massive 13 rounds for this tournament means that we will see a lot of X3s and even X4s likely making it into the top 16. Because we hit the necessary threshold for it to move from a top 8 to a top 16 cut. All right, looks like he starts off with Pot of Desires. After stifling his opponent with Maxi, basically exactly what he wants. Now he has Raigeki to take back the field. This is a crazy opening.
Incredible. I missed what Santa Cruz's back row is. But it's going to have to be good for him to do anything here.
My Body, Solemn Warning, or a Mirror Force effect. Or the Zodiac combo. That is not a good one.
That doesn't help at all.
Yep, no, he's just going to activate to get to the grave so he can shuffle back some Zodiacs and draw a card, but it doesn't actually protect anything.
This is desperate.
Yep.
Wow. So Santa Cruz is down to Rat Pier, Thoroughblade, and Whiptail in his hand. And I think we're going to see a very quick 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, quick in that it is a definitive win. Not so quick in that we're winning with 1,000 and 1,200 attack monsters, right?
No. It's not going to win. He's not going to win this turn, but I think he's going to set up his inevitable victory.
Yeah, our opponent likes the slow and painful victories.
Yeah.
Watching his opponent squirm a little under the powerful force of his barrier statues.
And if he's lucky, he might even draw the Seal of Orichalcos.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, he's going to be able to normal summon Fossil Giant here, crack in for 12, set some impressive trap cards. Most importantly, Phantom Knight's Sword. He also has Solemn Warning to combat Denko Seka just in case.
And Phantom Knight's Wing for an extra 500 attack points. Did he didn't Pot of Desires yet either, right?
No, he Pot of Desires. He had 2 copies at the beginning of the turn.
So he could do one next turn too. Yeah, he's not afraid of decking it out.
If you're a fan of drawing cards, playing a bunch of Pot of Desires and Pot of Dualities card admises, this might be the deck for you. The more sort of inbred the Zodiac deck becomes to fight other Zodiac strategies, the more successful decks like this are going to be.
It's true.
Because everyone's maining, we've seen some decks main 8 hand traps, and that's not even that uncommon. And none of those cards do anything against this deck. Ghost Ogre is an 1800 defender. That is about as good as it gets in terms of hand traps combating this strategy.
I think he probably sided out all of his hand traps, right?
I would assume so. Maybe not Ghost Ogre just because of his 1800 defense, but I doubt he kept it in.
There's a lot of cards to side out against that deck, against the
the bigger issue is how many cards you have to bring in. You kind of have to identify certain cards because, maybe Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit actually isn't as weak as some of the other cards you have in your deck just because it's an 1800 defender.
That is true. Maxi's a lot worse.
Yeah, Santa Cruz Guzman has actually 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice, so he can combat this deck pretty well. Forbidden Chalice lines up very well against all of the Barrier Statues and Fossil Giant cards. So he has one right now.
So he might not be out of this
he also
duel
has Twin Twister.
Dimitri has Max C though.
Yeah, he's going to try to just battle over it, but he's going to lose out to the sword during damage step, and even if he chalices his own monster.
Well, then he has Twin Twisters for the sword, but then he'll lose out to the wings, which would be chained to that, and the wings doesn't have to stay in the field, right?
The sword's going to be used during damage step, hopefully.
So
the Twin Twister won't
most likely it's damage step, so he won't even be able to Twin Twisters. That's pretty brutal, actually.
Yeah, I can't tell if he chose to use it during the damage step. Before, he was being very careful about announcing, the various steps of battle, but
apparently not, because now he is chaining Twin Twisters. Oh, no, he did damage step. Yep. He did use it in the damage step.
If he wants, he can Forbidden Chalice his own monster to trade, but then he's going to get blown out by wings.
Yes, and that's exactly what's going to happen here, because it looks like he's planning to use the Forbidden Chalice. And that's super dangerous.
Well, no, he doesn't even need to get blown out, right? Is it destroyed by card effect or battle? The sword can protect him.
Either way.
Oh, so then he could just send the sword to the graveyard instead. So he's not going to chalice there for sure, because he's just getting 2 for 1 by a sword.
So that's good, because he needs that chalice, because
to just turn
that's
off the
his
Dyna.
answer to
Who cares
Dyna.
about the sword? Yeah.
But I don't think he doesn't know it at this point, but Dimitri also has Barrier Statue of the Abyss in his hand, and the Forbidden Chalice will not stop both monsters.
Yeah, but because he has Zodiac Whiptail, he can at least threaten the other monster.
Right, but then the wings is still face down, too.
Well, he has Twin Twister, so Twin Twister will hopefully answer the 2 other cards. So it just depends on which 2 cards he hits with Twin Twister. because he's going to leave him with one set card.
Yeah.
And if that set card can manage to protect what's likely to be the barrier statue.
Well, the wings is chainable.
Well, yeah, but he'll likely Twin Twister in phase, right? Just because he wants to make sure that nothing crazy happens.
It won't matter. He can chain it. It's been down. And it's permanent, the boost.
It's a permanent boost?
It's a
Okay,
permanent
see, I didn't realize that. Yeah, that matters a lot.
But he doesn't summon the barrier statue.
He's been very conservative about using his additional threats.
Ooh. Passes his turn without doing it.
But it's not even like, even if he can manage to get through his Fossil our proponent has Maxi into Darkhold into another statue.
Yeah, and I guess that's why he's not pushing. He's not worried. So now Guzman uses the Twin Twisters.
Discards my body as a shield. Mistake. Because that Darkhold is going to definitely put a damper into his plans.
Okay, so he targets 2 cards. One of them is Phantom Knight's Wing. The Wing gets chained. So now Fossil Dyna has a permanent plus 500. And the other Power of Desires that he probably didn't want to activate because
he's running low on cards.
He was very likely to deck out after using 2 Desires that removes 24 cards from his deck.
Yep, chooses to Forbidden Chalice. Let's see what that last back row is.
Forbidden Chalice. He's going to chain Maxi
Fossil
to
is
it,
pretty
maybe.
big now. This 2,400?
It is, yes. Oh, no, 25. It's 1,200 plus 8 plus 5. Oh, no, plus 4. So
yeah,
29.
12 plus 8 plus 4.
Plus 5 from the wings.
Oh, you're right, the wings, yeah.
So it's 29.
Keep on forgetting the permanent boost.
Yeah. So Borbo comes up. Oh, it's a Solemn Warning face down.
We forgot because of the Danko second.
I guess he doesn't need the Maxi. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Yep.
Well,
Santa Cruz Guzman can't help but shake his head a little.
This was his only turn to special summon, and now Fossil Dyna gets its effect back.
Another
third pot of Desires off the top.
Do you use it here?
I think that's probably too dangerous.
I mean, but you have no other protection for your monster.
All right, well, how many cards are in your deck, I guess, is the question. Well, the sword protects the monster, and even without the sword, it's 1,700 attack because of the wings.
You're right. So it's just enough for...
So I mean, that's what happened. Dimitri draws, Santa Cruz draws Raigeki, but it's not good enough.
Does sword protect you from your own effects? Like, are you able to Dark Hole send your sword?
Let's bring up the card. I'm not sure. I think so. If that target would be destroyed by battle or card effect. Yep, doesn't just have to be your opponent's.
Yep. Takes the conservative line. Attacks with the Fossil Dyna and then cracks in for 1,000 with the barrier statue.
He draws another sword, so now he has tons of protection.
Yep. Tankers, is that anti-spell fragrance?
Yeah, that won't help him
I mean,
at
that's
all.
not enough. You just send it to the graveyard. The sword protects your Fossil Dyna.
And Guzman's only at 900, so he can't do anything. He sets a bluff anti-spell fragrance. And Fossil Dyna
Yep, and that's it.
Makes Santa Cruz extinct.
Yeah. Yep. Olgar Proponis takes it down with his, I don't know, barrier statue, Fossil Dyna, stun strategy. Pretty powerful. What do you think of this deck?
I like it because it plays very differently than any other deck out there.
Yes, that is it definitely tries to fight the metagame on a completely different axis.
And I love it because it plays the Seal of Orichalcos, even though we didn't get to see it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you usually only play one, so you have to draw it. But we do have a lot of card selection and draw power in this deck, so it is not too unlikely. But we also saw, in some ways, this stun strategy is a combo deck, right? Because you need the combo of a monster that stops your opponent from doing things and things that protect your monster, right?
Yes.
If you're going second, it's even a bigger combo deck because you need something to clear away the field, and then your monster, and then the cards to protect it. So just like any other combo deck, when you draw the pieces, it's going to be great, right? And that's exactly what we saw. Olgar Proponent's hands were nothing but insane, right? Like, we saw game 2, he had Maxi into Raigeki into a stun monster, and then he still had Maxi into Dark Hole into another stun monster, worst case scenario after. So I
like the deck also because Card Demise is an awesome card.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. Pod Desires is an awesome card. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Pod Duality is an awesome card. Everyone knows that. Max is out on all of them.
Yep.
Plays
If
a
you
couple
love to
of
draw
monsters.
cards, like
yeah.
I've been saying, this is a good one.
Tons of good cards in the deck.
Yeah. If you told me that there was a deck in the format that played 3 draw 2 cards and 3 draw 3 cards along with Pod Duality a couple of years ago, I'd be like, oh, that has to be the best deck in the format, right?
Now it's just the deck that tries to beat the best deck in the format.
Yep.
Or one of.
Yep. Looks like we're going to run to a quick break, and then we will be back with a player interview with Ogar proponents, so make sure to stay tuned.
Attention duelists around the world. Thanks to cutting-edge Kaiba Corp technology, you can now duel on your smartphone. Ready? Check this out, everyone. Write the next chapter in dueling history. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Here I go. It's my turn. My turn!
It's my turn.
Play as your favorite character and win your duels. Not a single card can stand up to this. Build your strongest deck and summon your legendary monsters. I call on Blue Eyes White Dragon. White Lightning! Duels are now in the palm of your hand. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Make your move because it's time to duel.
I'm here with Dimitri Agart Proponis, who is currently 5-2 with his barrier statue deck that uses the Seal of Orichalcos in it. He's running a variety of Mirror Forces and other attack-boosting cards to protect his Fossil Dyna and barrier statue monsters. And he's fresh off his feature match win against a Zodiac player. How does your deck typically fare against Zodiacs?
It's by far my best matchup, just because of the fact, like, even when I go second, I have my Geki and my 2 Dark Holes, and then I also have the 3 Fossil Dyna, because what I like to do with that, if I can, is flip it face up, then damage step, use a Phantom Knight Trap to protect it, then everything on their board dies because of Fossil Dyna's effect.
Is that why you chose to run the deck that you did this weekend?
In part, yes. Just I feel like it's a very good Zodiac matchup. I predicted to play against a lot of Zodiacs, and I'm really not disappointed with how my deck's performed.
And now you say in part. What's the other part of why you used the deck that you decided to run this weekend?
In the Zodiac Mirror match, it's very, very skill-based, and to be quite honest, I don't feel confident enough playing the Zodiac Mirror that I feel like I could win it consistently with an equal hand as my opponent. And that's just pretty much why that was knocked out of the window. It was between Paleozoic and this deck, and my friend of mine was borrowing my Toad, so...
All right. Those are all very good reasons, and you are now 5-2, so your decision seems to be paying off. So congratulations on your round 7 feature match win, and good luck in the rest of the tournament.
Thank you.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Fusion Enforcers! Call upon magical new monsters so you can unleash their fusion power. 5 cards per pack, each pack sold separately. And master the storm with Raging Tempest. 9 cards per pack, each pack sold separately. The original Duelists are back! You can collect Yugi Moto's 5 new Magician Girl monsters, plus Seto Kaiba's Blue Eyes Dragons, and the Egyptian Cubic monsters of New Villain Igami. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions Movie Pack Gold Edition. 5 cards per pack, 3 packs per box, each box sold separately.
It's time to duel! Yu-Gi-Oh! The Dark Side of Dimensions. January 27th. Rated PG. Free exclusive Yu-Gi-Oh! Card with ticket purchase.
Today I want to talk about a combo that you're probably going to see a lot of over the next few months, especially if you tune into our tournament coverage either here or on Twitch TV/official Yu-Gi-Oh! Channel. This combo involves the Zodiac Xyz monsters from Raging Tempest. We got Borbo, Tiger Mortar, Broad Bull, and Drydet. And while the actual result of this combo is pretty simple, it actually has a lot of steps, and you might have seen it done with a few shortcuts. Might be a little unclear on exactly what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you step by step. What exactly is happening when you see the Zodiac combo on screen. So the thing with the Zodiac Xyz monsters is that they can all be Xyz summoned using only one other Zodiac monster as the material. And unlike other cards like number S39, Utopia the Lightning, or Downward Magician, that one monster can be just any Zodiac monster. It doesn't have to be an Xyz monster. So the monster they use is Zodiac Rapier. Each of the basic Zodiacs adds an effect onto a Beast Warrior type Xyz monster that uses it as its material. In this case, Rapier's is once per turn. You can detach an Xyz material from this card, summon another Rapier from your hand or deck. So you start by summoning Zodiac Rapier. You can either normal summon it from your hand, or special summon it from your deck with something like Zodiac Barrage, or MX Saber Invoker, which normally winds up on the field courtesy of Terror Top and Tekedenborg. Once you have your Rapier on the field, you start off by Xyz summoning Zodiac Borbo. Borbo is kind of the starter and the finisher for a pure Zodiac deck. You can start off this combo by using it like this, or you could finish a duel by using its effect to attack directly. And then if it has 12 materials, you do a bunch of other cool stuff. But for our purposes, the important thing is that it has gained this effect. The once per turn you can detach to summon a Rapier. So we'll do that now. There we go. Now the Rapier. Next, we're going to use Borbo as the material to Xyz summon Tiger Mortar. Tiger Mortar's effect lets her detach one of her own materials to target a Zodiac in your graveyard and an Xyz monster on your field, and attach the graveyard card to the Xyz monster on the field as material. There we go. So now she's got Rapier, and the ability, once per turn you can detach one Xyz material, summon another Rapier. Now the question you might have right now is, hang on, that affects once per turn. So why can you use it again here? That's because it's just once per turn : It doesn't have you can only use this ability once per turn. And as a result, each time it's placed on a new card, that restriction's reset. It's considered the ability of a totally new card that hasn't been used yet, so we can detach this Rapier now and summon the third one from the deck. There we go. Next, we'll go ahead and use Tiger Mortar as the material to summon Zodiac Broadbolt. Broadbolt lets you detach a material to add a Beast Warrior type monster that can be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand. And the one that we're going to get here is Zodiac Whiptail. There's a lot of other choices, tons of them really. There's other Zodiacs, there's Fire Fist monsters, there's even Beast King Barbaros if you want it. But for our purposes, the most common card you're going to see is Zodiac Whiptail, because this card can attach itself to a Beast Warrior type Xyz monster during either player's turn at any time, except during the damage step, and it gives the monster it's attached to the ability to banish any monster that it battles. So this is going to go to hand, and then finally we're going to use Zodiac Broadbolt as a material for Zodiac Trident, which also has a quick effect that lets you destroy any face-up card on the field. So with this, you could detach the Broadbolt, destroy something, and then just put Whiptail right on so that you can do it again during your opponent's turn. Or you could save the Broadbolt, use it to disrupt your opponent during their turn, and then if they try to do anything, like attack Trident, you can just attach Whiptail to make sure that you take out their monster as well. But that's ignoring that you still have these two Zodiac Rapiers on the field that you can use to make pretty much whatever rank 4 you'd like. You could get a Beast Warrior specific card, like Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King. You could get a defensive card like Traptrix Ecclesia, which is pretty popular with cards like Treacherous Trap Hole, or Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare, or even Floodgate Trap Hole. Or you could get a card like Kane Gorgon, Anti-Luminescent Knight, that can deflect targeting abilities. For example, if your opponent tries to do this back to you with their own Zodiac Trident, you can just redirect their effect to blow up their own monster. Or you could get Daigusto Emerald. Daigusto Emerald can help shuffle these combo pieces back into your deck and let you draw more cards. So if your opponent has something like Regeki or Darkhole to blast all this stuff off the field, you'll have a chance to try the combo again later on. Or, if you're going second, for example, and you need to take out a tough monster, you could even use number 39 Utopia with Utopia the Light. There's a ton of different setups that you can make with just this one card. All you need is Zodiac Rapier or something that can summon it from your deck, and you can do all this and still have the rest of your hand to work with to fulfill your original strategy or to protect yourself with traps or basically anything. And that is how the Zodiac combo works and why it's so powerful. So keep a lookout for it. Next time you see it during tournament coverage, you'll know exactly how it works and exactly what's going on. And I'll see you next time.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Raging Tempest! On a dark and stormy dueling night, rain monsters down with all your might. Bring wind and birds and beasts from the sky. 100 new cards. Raging Tempest! 9 cards per pack, each pack sold separately.
Good news for all you fans of Declan and his DDD deck from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. It's been a long time coming, but everything is going according to plan. Pendulum Domination is here, and the things you can do with these new cards are incredible. If you've been collecting everything over time, you'll know all about these cards. DD Swirl Slime, DD Necro Slime, DDD Gus King Alexander, and DDD Flame King Genghis. If you combine these cards with a new card from the Pendulum Domination Structure deck, the Tuner Monster, DD Lamia, you can do some pretty crazy stuff. Let's see how it works. So, there are many combos that you can pull off with this deck that range anywhere from 2 cards to 4 cards that do a variety of different things, but the simplest one involves these 3 cards, or Dark Contract with the Gate, which can be used to replace any of these cards by searching for it. And it ends with 2 level 8 Synchro monsters on the field. And we're talking like some pretty good Synchro monsters. We're talking Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon level, or Psyframe Lord Omega, or the new DDD Curse King Siegfried from the Structure deck. Take these 3, pick 2. You can have them all on the first turn. Here's how it works. So, you need these 3 cards, or you need Dark Contract with the Gate to substitute for one of them by searching for it. Now, this is one case where DD Savant Kepler, or DD Savant Kepler, cannot be used to replace the Dark Contract with the Gate because you are going to need your normal summon to summon DD Lamia. So, here's how it works. You've got your 3 cards. First thing you want to do is use the effect of DD Swirl Slime. It lets you fusion summon using it and another DD monster in your hand to summon a DD monster. So you're going to fuse the 2 slimes together, put them over to the graveyard, and you will summon DDD Flame King Genghis. Now, you'll need to use your normal summon. Use that on DD Lamia. That's 7, and you have a DD Tuner, so you can Synchro summon DDD Gus King Alexander. Alright, now you need to head back over to your graveyard. You've got your Necro Slime in there. Necro Slime can be used to fusion summon from the graveyard, using itself as one of the materials. So go ahead and use Necro Slime now. Use it with the Swirl Slime in your graveyard. It banishes them. And you'll summon a second copy of DDD Flame King Genghis. You do need 2, you can't just recycle the same one. When you do that, Gus King Alexander's effect will trigger because you special summoned a DD monster. Remember, DDD monsters are also DD monsters because they have it in the name. That'll let you summon a level 4 or lower DD monster from your graveyard, so go ahead and bring back that Lamia. There she is. And that gets you your first level 8 Synchro summon. Let's go ahead. Who do we want first? How about DDD Cursed King Siegfried. Here he is. This guy can negate a spell or trap card for an entire turn during either player's turn, till the next standby phase. So one way you can use this is to negate your own Dark Contracts until your standby phase, so that you don't take any damage from them. But the main use is going to be to negate your opponent's spell or trap cards. Now, you special summoned a DD monster to the field. That's still a DD monster, even though it's DDD. So that'll trigger DDD Flame King Genghis' effect. And that's going to let you special summon another monster back. So there's no level limit on this, so you'll summon DDD Gus King Alexander back. Now, depending on whether you had to use Dark Contract with the Gate or not, this step will vary slightly. If you had Dark Contract with the Gate, it's actually better for you, because DD Lamia can be special summoned back from the graveyard by sending a DD monster or a Dark Contract card from your hand or face up on your field to the graveyard. If you have the contract, you can just send it to the graveyard, which gets you off the hook for the 1,000 life points to summon back Lamia, and then you Synchro summon with Gust King Alexander or Flame King Genghis. Probably Gust King Alexander because level 7 non-Synchro monster, that can get you Crystal Wing if you want it. It's pretty good. If you don't have the contract with the gate, you'll have to send DDD Flame King Genghis instead. And that takes 2,000 points off the board and possible further special summons. But with just those 3 cards, which are really easy to get, because you've got Dark Contract with the gate, which straight up replaces any of them, you've got a lot of extra draw power with cards like Allure of Darkness, which are also in Pendulum Domination, if you don't quite have enough copies of them. So it's really easy to get all those cards together in one place. As for what you summon, these 3 level 8s are probably the ones I would choose the most. This pair gets you the negation of a monster effect and a spell or trap each turn, in addition to Crystal Wing's other abilities, like getting Gargantuan when he attacks things. Or if I don't know what I'm playing against, I think this is actually a pretty good start as well, because you can negate a spell or trap and everybody plays spell cards, and you can just temporarily take a card out of your opponent's hand, see what they're playing, and go from there, which will help you inform the decisions you make with Curse King Siegfried. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's just a ton of different stuff that you can do with a DDD deck, and I'll leave a lot of that for you to figure out on your own, because it's fun to just figure out all the different combos you can do. But that 1 3-card combo with the 2 Slimes and Lamia is one you're going to see a lot, especially if you see a lot of DDD decks being played during YCS, during our event coverage. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll see you next time.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Pendulum Domination with crushing DD monsters! And take full command of Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters! Pendulum Domination! 43 cards per box, each box sold separately.
It's time to duel! Duel!
Duelists need at least 100 qualifier points to qualify for the Ultimate Duelist Series Winter Invitational here in Las Vegas. I'm asking, there are tons of ways to get those points. I'm asking the duelists in attendance this weekend how they qualified for this weekend's Ultimate Duelist Series Invitational. How do you qualify?
I actually didn't even know I qualified till like Sunday after the San Diego regional, because like my friend like looked me up and told me about the UDS, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in Vegas anyways, but and then he looked me up for me and told me I had enough points, and I saw, like, I guess I'm going to the UDS.
So how'd you get all those points?
I just like go to the regionals, I guess, but I don't know how I had that many. I really don't.
So just playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Playing. Like I got lucky, pretty much.
I won the UDS past February, I think that was about 100 points. And then I topped a couple YCSs, so yeah, I guess those added up for about like 205 points, so just enough for a buy. So, yeah, pretty fortunate.
Well, I qualified for the UDS. It's a funny story. My friend Ed Substance, he just won the feature match. He took me to a locals to play for the pin, for the Blue Eyes pin, just so I could get UDS points. And then I had 40, and then plus, after I won the whole thing, it came up to like 95 points. And then just this last week at San Diego, I just got my last 5 points just to make it over here. And the whole time I didn't know whether I made it or not.
Where'd you get the 5 points from? What type of event?
The San Diego regionals, just for participating.
So mostly from the UDS qualifiers you got points, but you got from regionals also?
Yeah. Everything came around, and then just everything added up to just exactly 100. Gave me enough points.
Perfect. How'd you get enough points to qualify?
I got enough points to qualify by topping multiple UDSs at local stores.
So the UDS qualifiers?
Yeah. And also, I've topped a couple regionals, too.
I got enough points to qualify because Los Angeles has a lot of tournaments, like the regionals, the OTSs, some of the locals actually give you UDS points. So I went to every one of those, and just kept building and building up, and then I could just come here and try to win the belt.
So you just played in a lot of different official tournament events.
Hi. I qualified for the UDS for playing at locals and regionals.
What type of locals? Like UDS qualifiers or
OTSs, tournament stores, official stores, so they give you points.
So I qualified for this UDS by playing at locals a lot. Playing, not winning, but playing.
What type of locals?
Game stores.
So we're like UDS qualifiers or OTS championships or?
A few UDS qualifiers. Yeah.
I earned enough points for the UDS for winning all the UDS tournaments at my locals.
UDS qualifiers?
Yes.
To qualify for the UDS, you have to participate in official tournament stores, get enough points, and you come here.
But how did you qualify?
I participated in OTSs, topped here and there, and I got enough points to come here.
Cool.
Thank you.
All right, I qualified for the U.S. qualifier by winning YCS Minneapolis and also topping a variety of regionals.
Well, how I topped the UDS this time, usually I judge a lot of events, head judge regionals, judge YCSs, judge WCQ, and then playing in regionals and winning regionals and topping YCSs as well.
I qualified for this UDS by getting third at YCS Vegas. Catch me playing Cosmo, baby!
There are a lot of ways to qualify for the UDS Invitational. Duelists need at least 100 points in order to participate. They can get them by playing in official tournaments, official sanctioned tournaments, or judging official events. Every duelist took a different path to get here today, and one of them will emerge as the ultimate duelist.
Foolish Burial Goods is a spell card with a very simple effect, but why it's good is a little bit more complicated. When you play Foolish Burial Goods, you can send any spell or trap card directly from your deck to your graveyard. Why would you want to do that? Well, there are a lot of spell and trap cards out there that have useful effects when you play them from the graveyard. You might be thinking of cards like Skill Prisoner or Galaxy Cycle and Breakthrough Skill, cards that you play once for their main effect and then get another similar but a little weaker effect from the graveyard on your next turn. Those are not what you want to send to the graveyard with Foolish Burial Goods. What you're looking for are cards that have effects that you can use right away, and that are frequently better than the effects you get for playing them. Here's a couple examples. If you're a fan of Spiral or Subterrors, you might be familiar with Spiral Mission Assault and Subterror Behemoth Burrowing. Both of these cards are pretty good when you play them normally, but once they're in the graveyard, they get an incredibly useful ability towards setting up your strategy. Problem is, these are both, well, this is a continuous card and this is a trap, so you can't really get it into your graveyard when it'd be most useful to you at the start of the duel. Unless you use Foolish Burial Goods. With that, you can send either of these cards directly from your deck to the graveyard. If you send Behemoth Burrowing, you can banish it from your graveyard to flip one of your Subterror monsters face down. That's something that Subterror decks struggle with a lot in the early game, so you can summon one of your nemesis, like Archer or Warrior, play Foolish Burial Goods to send Burrowing to the graveyard, and then flip it face down so that you can special summon Subterror Behemoth from your hand. Then there's Spiral Mission Assault. One of the challenges for Spirals is getting enough special summons in the early game. For example, you want to be able to both, say, summon Spiral Gear Drone from your hand, and summon Super Agent, and summon Spy Gal Misty all in the same turn. And normally, you would not be able to do that. But if you have Foolish Burial Goods, you can send Spiral Mission Assault to the graveyard, or you can banish it to special summon one of the spirals from your hand. It's also useful in another fan favorite strategy that's going to get a lot more fans really soon, and that is Fluffles. Toy Vendors, it's alright when you play it as a regular continuous spell, but when it goes to the graveyard, you get to search your deck for any Fluffle monster or Edge Imp Sabers and add it straight to your hand. Being able to skip the middleman of finding a discard outlet or anything like that is a huge boon for Fluffle players. Fans of Yugi's cards are probably also going to be fans of Foolish Burial Goods. Magician Navigation is a card that's great whether you play it normally or just send it straight to the graveyard. When you activate it, summons Dark Magician from your hand and a Dark Spellcaster level 7 or lower from your deck. When it's in the graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to negate a spell or trap card your opponent plays. Sending it to the graveyard on your own turn might seem a little counterintuitive since you can't use it right away, but what you really want it for is to negate your opponent's spell and trap cards during their own turn. So not being able to use it on your own turn is not really that big a deal. It's also good if you're a fan of Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman, little Yugi's cards. These guys were from Rivals of the Pharaoh. But they also came with their own attack spells, Silent Burning and Silent Sword Slash. And each of these attack spells also doubles as a search card. But the problem is you weren't able to actually play them without already having a monster on the field to target with them. Foolish Burial Goods lets you skip that, send them straight to the graveyard where you can banish them to search out Silent Swordsman or Silent Magician. I had a Phantom Knight deck a while back that used Silent Swordsman and Foolish Burial Goods. It was pretty darn good. And speaking of Phantom Knights, Foolish Burial Goods is great with Phantom Knights. Their whole thing is that they have all these cards that you can play from the graveyard for more good effects. You know, Phantom Knight's Sword, Fogblade, Wing. I probably would not send Fogblade to the graveyard unless I absolutely had to, because that's definitely a card you want to get both uses out of. But something like Wing or Sword to make sure that you can get an instant special summon without having to wait a turn to use the traps is extremely useful. Speaking of traps, I don't know that this will actually happen in practice, but you can also send something like a Paleozoic card to the graveyard so that you can activate a trap and immediately special summon it back out. It's a neat little application that could lead to a lot more Paleozoic Xyz monsters and toads down the line. So there are really a ton of different options that you have for Foolish Burial Goods. I didn't even go through all of them. There are just so many of them. So if you have a spell or trap that you like playing, but you wouldn't mind seeing it go straight to the graveyard so that you can use it later, this could be the card you're looking for. Talk to you next time.
QQ stands for Quick Questions. Zodiac cards have been giving a lot of duelists a lot of trouble this weekend, so I figured I'd survey the duelists in a competition this weekend to see if they were a Zookeeper, which Zodiac monster do they think would give them the most trouble? What do you think?
Typically, Dryden gives people the most trouble because he puts the most pressure on board.
And if you were a Zookeeper and Dryden were in a zoo, how would that put pressure on you?
Because I don't know if the Dryden was ever going to kill me or not.
Dryden might be the most aggressive zoo animal?
Definitely, especially when he has Whiptail equipped to him.
All right.
I think Barbo would put most pressure on me as a Zookeeper because it doesn't look really clean and it would always throw around bananas and stuff.
Okay, the answer is definitely Momorat because I am afraid of rats.
Rat Pier?
Rat Pier, yes, definitely.
Probably Zodiac Dryden because she's based off a dragon, and dragons aren't always fun to play with. So, and yeah.
Might come after you?
Yeah, you know, spit some fire at me because I didn't feed her once or twice, you know.
What do you think a Dryden eats?
I mean, she's a dragon, so probably a person.
I guess the hardest to deal with would probably be Tiger Mortar, because although I do have 3 cats, Tiger would be kind of out of hand for me, considering I'm a tiny person. So I try my best, but there's only so much I can do.
Would you feed your Tiger Mortar cat food?
Yeah, maybe it'd make it weaker since it's not eating raw meat. That's the best I could do.
Might be a little different.
All right, so the Zodiac that will give me the biggest problem would probably be Whiptail. The reason why is because if you look at the card, it looks like a scientist. So that's already, I got an associate, so I'm already pretty sure if you're in a lab coat, you're gonna be a little bit smarter than me, but can't do much when it banishes everything on the field.
It's tough when the animals outsmart the Zookeeper.
I know, and it's gonna be a full takeover. If you look at Barrage, they're like destroying everything. I'm not down for that.
Bun because nobody ever uses it.
How would that affect you as a Zookeeper?
I don't know. I feel like just having a rabbit like that would be annoying. That's my reason.
All right.
Zodiac Ram by far looks like the most trouble out of all of them.
Why's that?
Man, it's always the innocent ones that are the most terrible, horrifying creatures. The Paleozoic monsters never expected it.
Definitely Tiger Mortar, because the dude who jumped into the cage got mauled by it, so probably the same thing would happen.
Scary.
Yep.
Trident.
Why?
It just destroys stuff, so it would tear everything up.
As an animal in the zoo, it would do the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
Trident.
Why?
Because monster disposal or backfield disposal is one of the most important factors of this game, and I believe he suits both categories, so I give it to Trident.
How would that affect you as a zookeeper?
The potential of getting eradicated by a creature, yes. very.
Fair point. So the Zodiac monsters have been disrupting everyone this weekend, and as a zookeeper, I would imagine it would be no different. Several duelists this weekend seem to agree.
With no monsters left on the field, I summon Dark Magician. Declare direct attack. Ah, you got me. Told Joe's the master. GG. GG. I gotta bounce, guys.
All right, man.
Duel Links. Choose from over 700 classic cards to build your ultimate deck. Unlock and play as your favorite characters. Summon powerful monsters and become a duel master. With infinite combinations, it's anyone's battle to win.
Harpy Lady Sisters! Triple Scratch Attack!
Rematch?
Bring it.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, the ultimate real-time PvP battle, now on mobile. Download free on App Store and Google Play.
Back at YCS Atlanta, we asked the duelists which Kaiju monster would be most successful at attacking their home city. Today, I'm going around to see the competitors in Vegas to ask them which invoked monster would they summon to protect their home city from the Kaijus. How about you?
I would summon Raijin, the wind one, because whenever they try and attack, I can book a moon them and they can only control one, so only one can try and attack a time.
I would summon Invoked Makaba because machines are really cool and he would kick butt, so yeah.
You think they would do well against the Kaijus?
Oh yeah, of course, of course. Machines are better than living creatures, so yeah.
I mean, if it just really depends on which Kaiju is attacking. If it's like, say, the wind one, I'll just Purgatoria, I think it's called, just spit fire at it and gone. If it's the water one, then I don't know. We're kind of screwed because we're next to the beach in my area, so I don't know about here. But yeah, that's all.
So maybe if your hometown were being attacked by the Kaijus, which invoked monster would you summon to protect it?
Raijin, because you can book it.
Book the Kaijus, turn them face down, render them harmless?
Yes.
I'd pick Invoked Makaba.
And why Makaba?
Because he looks the coolest. And he's got like a motorcycle, big giant like dragon motorcycle.
You think that would be effective in warding off the Kaijus?
Absolutely.
I would summon Makaba. Makaba's just the best one. Actually, I would probably summon Elysium. Is that how you say it? The one where it like banishes.
Why?
It's a strong beater, and after you destroy one Kaiju, you can banish the rest if you call the right attribute, I believe.
I would choose Invoked Makaba because it negates everything, and it's broken.
So it would ward off the Kaijus most effectively?
No, unfortunately not.
So how are you going to protect your hometown from the destruction caused by Kaijus?
We put. Oh, that's when we summon. That's when we get raging and put some face down.
Maybe with Makaba, that'll solve everything?
Yes.
I would do the water invoked fusion. I don't know what it's called because it has like the biggest defense. It's trying to defend my town.
I think I will summon the Raging to put him face down. He will not be able to do anything else besides that.
Duelists have been summoning all sorts of invoked monsters all weekend using Alistair the Invoker. But when it comes to protecting their city from Kaijus, each duelist has a specific invoked monster in mind to protect their city. We got a large variety of answers, but which of the invoked monsters will help them win duels, we'll see throughout the weekend.
QQ stands for Quick Question, and we're here at YCS Atlanta, where Kaiju have been destroying the field. If you don't know much about the Kaiju, they're giant monsters that just make havoc of anything in their way, and it's probably one of the most popular engines in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. So if you had to choose one Kaiju to release, to wreak havoc, to destroy the city of Atlanta, which Kaiju would you choose, and why?
Gamma Seal, because I like turtles.
Gamma Seal, the sea turtle Kaiju, because you like turtles. Well, that's not too vicious, but I appreciate your answer. Good luck in the rest of the tournament, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
I would easily stick Zookeeper, the star-destroying Kaiju, on the city of Atlanta.
Why Zookeeper?
He's my favorite. He's a light, he's a machine. I love machines.
Probably Zookeeper because it's the best Kaiju for having the most attack and the most defense. Also, it's like Mecha Godzilla, so it's just going to like shoot fire everywhere and destroy everything.
So Zookeeper over Thunder King and the Lightning Strike Kaiju, same amount of attack points, can probably destroy the cities with.
So it's more likely to be destroyed by the military.
The countermeasures of the military are the reason you chose Zookeeper? That's a great answer.
Zookeeper, the Star Question Kaiju.
Why?
It's just devastating. You see how it look? It's just like it reminds me of Transformers, just like Decepticons or something. Just like one big machine that just like overpowers everything. Yeah.
Probably the Thunder King Kaiju, because who doesn't like thunder, and being all that lightning, being all crackling against Atlanta would be great. That thing looks awesome in general. Like that. Plus, like, it's one of the big ones. Like, it has to be doing like severe damage to the city. It just has to be like that. The Thunder King Kaiju just looks amazing, in my opinion. I think it's the best one.
So the strongest Kaiju, eh? Definitely Zookeeper, because you know its name, and it's like it's the biggest Kaiju. You know Zookeeper? Yeah.
Gamma Seal, the turtle.
Why Gamma Seal, the sea turtle Kaiju?
Because it's slow.
Because it's slow? So you want just the slow and painful destruction of the entire city. That's what you're looking for when you're unleashing giant beasts?
Yes.
So if I could unleash one Kaiju on Atlanta, I think it would be Thunder King, the Lightning Strike Kaiju, because I forget how many heads it has. I think it's got 3 heads. Is that right? 3 heads? I mean, come on. 3 heads are better than 1.
Zookeeper, the star-destroying Kaiju, because it's already destroying a city in the picture. I mean, it's just common sense.
Yeah. Kaiju are known for destroying cities, but what about that specific Kaiju do you think makes it especially powerful against the city of Atlanta?
It has a lot of attack.
If I had to pick, I pick Thunder King, because if I pick Gamma Cell, he might have an advantage, but what if that's their animal, they control it, I don't want to lose. So I picked the strongest one, which is Thunder King, to take down everybody. So if I had to unleash a Kaiju on the city of Atlanta, it'd be Thunder King. What was his? The
Lightning Strike Kaiju.
The Lightning Strike Kaiju, because as a guy who played gadgets for like 6 years, Thunder King literally ruined all of my days. So all I can think about with Thunder King is it destroying me, so it might as well destroy everyone else.
So back with vengeance, huh?
Back with vengeance, yeah. That card is insane.
If I could call upon the power of a Kaiju